Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
4th down and 16 in the block. Ryan Wright has it blocked. Got to convert. End zone, there it is. Touchdown, Allen.
By Atlanta special teams, the partially blocked punt, the big return from the 45, and there's an interception. Tried to squeeze it across the middle, and Robert Spillane with the takeaway. Just when it looked like Cousins had turned things around. 9th play of this drive, Falcons showing pressure. They bring it, ball is that quickly. Abdullah gets free and dives for a touchdown. As the Raiders reach the end zone, the final 3 minutes of the game.
You know, we talked about the importance of getting off to a fast start, and I thought our crowd was phenomenal. You looked at the weather, you know, the roads.
Omaha couldn't drive.
Omaha, you know, they shut down the interstate, I think, at one point, and you had the volleyball game to compete with, which congratulations to them. That
not
performance was Greg, that was incredible what they did in that game against Wisconsin. But anyway, to have that start, got our crowd into it. Our students were phenomenal.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. We are here on the mobile Pillar Exterior stage down at HQ. What's going on, DB?
Hi, buddy.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Cam came with jokes this morning, so that's okay.
He came with jokes this morning. What'd you come with this morning?
I had deep thoughts. Deep thoughts. I think we learned that like in science.
Which part?
Let me ask Cam. Hey, Cam, aside from water particles, what are clouds made of?
Good morning again.
I think it's just water particles.
Are you sure?
I think so.
You sneak anything else in there?
Well, I'm not like
gases.
Well, I think some of the forms of water are gas. So I think you've got some gas, some crystal, and some liquid water all just kind of like hanging out in there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What was the other one that I asked you?
Something about suspended animation.
Do you believe in it?
Well, what do you mean by believe in it? It's a real thing.
So objects in motion always tend to stay in motion?
Unless acted upon by an outside force. Suspended animation is what results when an outside force acts upon something.
Is that Newton?
Yes. It's one of his 3 laws.
Okay.
I don't remember the other 2.
Okay.
If you're gonna
No, I was deep this morning. I don't know what I was on.
Do you have like an extra long shower or something? You like get shower thoughts?
Kinda.
Is
I wasn't really thinking. I was mapping out what I was going to eat today.
I'm gonna guess nothing.
Not exactly.
But kinda.
Not exactly. So then I just stroll in here and you know, I noticed we have this nice lighting ensemble, which, by the way, I feel like every time we're here, it's like so professional.
Yeah.
But then I'm just making conversation with one Cam Bam.
Yeah.
I'm like, Cam, it feels pretty hot in here. Cam says, oh no. As if to have zero concern.
I don't know that it was zero concern. I would say not as large of a concern as either of us may have had about the situation.
Oh no. What in the world? Like, who says that?
He may have not appreciated the gravity of the situation.
Cam, it's hot in here.
Oh no. I turn it down to like 50 degrees on the heat.
Man,
it'll cool off here in a minute.
You did.
Nope, nobody comes in on Tuesdays, right?
Nah.
This is like the floating day.
Yeah, it's the remote day.
Optional work from home day.
The optionals from home, not the work part.
Right.
This is where you like just need to change a couple of. What do you call it what do you put in sentences?
Words.
Words. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh no.
Punctuation.
Oh, punctuation. Okay, there we go. I was like, I don't know.
Words. I told you getting off the elevator. I know what we're on today, and it's fine. I'll play.
What did I do?
That's your favorite line. It might be the most rhetorical thing ever. What I do.
He says, morning, fellas, go book those KC hotel reservations while they're cheap.
Are they spiking?
I have no idea. I haven't looked yet. Funky Giblet says water droplets are ice crystals suspended in the air. That's what clouds are made out of.
I should have just Googled. I didn't want to get into the whole cumulus and all that type stuff.
Get nimbus.
Yes.
Feel a little nimbus in there.
Yes. I coach a lot of guys that are always trying to explain to me about chemtrails, and so I get a little distracted.
I thought you were going to say that you coach a bunch of guys you would consider nimbuses.
Nimbusiles?
Oh,
or imbeciles. Are they nimble or are they imbeciles? I don't think anybody says imbecile anymore.
I don't think so. I don't know if that's
that's old.
I don't know if it's like canceled or just old.
It's probably not canceled.
I have no idea.
It's not offensive enough.
I wouldn't think so. I don't hear that word and I go, oh, we shouldn't say that. There's a lot of things that we say that I'm like, yeah, that maybe not have been great, but
hey,
imbecile's not one of them.
Hey, Cam, what kind of mood are you in? Like good mood, bad mood?
I'm in an all right mood. Yeah.
I hate the camera angle.
Yeah, I don't love it. It's not my favorite.
But I had to wait and see if you were in look, he's laughing. I had to wait and see. I'm not trying to fight this early in the morning.
It all added up as soon as you said I was like, oh, he's gonna change the camera
Hey,
angle.
Cam, what kind of mood you in? How mad you gonna be if we ask you to change the camera?
You always got to get a temp check. You know what I mean? By the way,
especially after the oh no,
dude, that was classic.
You don't like the camera angle?
You can't recreate that with sincerity, but it was an incredible response.
Yeah,
that may stick.
Oh no,
he just said it like a Dean Blandino, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do like the chairs.
These are much better.
Is this a Bill or a Chris thing, Kim?
Those are Pat chairs.
These are Pat chairs.
Oh, that's nice.
Got them on discount,
dude. With a head that big, he needs some emotional support. What?
Pat catching strays this morning.
It's my dude.
You've known that dude forever, haven't you?
Yes, head mulati, got less body. What?
I don't even know what any of that means.
I don't either. I'm just trying to have a talk show. Trying to have a talk show. So we just gave up on the White Christmas thing too, right?
Well, White Christmas? Like the movie?
No, like snow.
But it's not Christmas yet.
Well, it's not gonna snow though, right?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, the guy doesn't know what clouds are made out of. I don't know if I'm gonna trust him on the weather report.
Hey, so did you just read
what day is Christmas?
Is it the 20?
I know what day it is. Like what day of the week is it? Thank you, Cam. Oh, it's the 25th. Thanks, DB. What day is New Year's? This isn't like a Thanksgiving thing where it moves on you.
Cam, you riding with this guy? See, that's fine. I got my armor on. Let's go.
You all buckled up and ready to go.
Yeah. Numbnuts is throwing shots from the peanut gallery.
No, it's Nimbus.
No, I'm talking about right.
Oh,
it is a rock hard egg McMuffin. Did you see it?
Jay Swizzle Stick says, "DB, you look great. Don't worry."
I don't know
what that means.
So
Headley Lamar says I'm his spirit animal. I don't know.
I think you guys vibe a ton because he usually agrees with some of your weird takes.
Well, listen, just because I'm right a lot doesn't mean that we're spirit animals.
That's not even subjective.
I think that's what it means. I think that's what it. What does that look for?
I don't know.
I'm agreeing with you on the camera. I don't love the angle either.
Would you like the egg McMuffin that you brought me 2 weeks ago?
No, I don't know why you still have that.
That
was a gift.
I was tempting fate.
So what does that even mean?
Okay,
so let's reset here, right?
What?
So I brought you a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin.
Yes,
a couple weeks ago because you were on a heater and you gave out 3 ridiculous games and you're like, if I hit these, I better get blah blah blah. And I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought you an egg McMuffin. You did not eat said egg McMuffin, which I didn't expect you to real time. I thought you might eat it later. Just take the meat and eggs and whatever out.
Yeah, I forgot.
2 weeks later, this thing is still in your backpack. You send a text message to Ryan and me after you send us. So you sent us a message yesterday to show us the burritos that are in your microwave still after 30 hours. And we're both like, DB, please, dear God, don't eat those.
Well, I put the sausage one in the fridge.
After how long?
Yesterday. So probably 38 hours real time.
You know that fridges aren't magic, right? Like it's not going to fix whatever happened in that 38 hours.
It's got regenerative powers.
It's like a Captain America fridge.
I don't know if you guys knew that, but it is. It does something.
Like a radioactive fridge?
Yeah, it does something to the particles.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it's like restoration.
So you send us this picture of these burritos, which your only hope is that they're so full of preservatives that there's no possible way for them to go bad.
Yeah.
And then we're like, hey, DB, please don't eat those. You're gonna that's terrible. And then you're like, well, I still got this Egg McMuffin in my backpack from 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, why?
So it's a science experiment now. Because as you can attest, here, I'm going to show you. Excuse me while I go off our great camera angle. What? Sorry.
Headley says, don't worry, DB, you're my conscience. So apparently I'm a spirit animal.
Yeah, because I actually have a compass. There's zero aroma.
There's also zero, like, watch this. Listen to this, guys. I'm going to do it by the mic so you can hear it. That's, at one point, was edible.
Do you not wonder why this doesn't smell? We eat this. How does this not smell?
Some of us eat it. You apparently do not.
But we put this in our body.
Yeah.
How is there no aroma?
Well, so remember those preservatives that I talked about that might save you on the Taco John's?
Yes.
Those are also present at McDonald's.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, it's paper thin.
You've seen those experiments where they leave a Big Mac out for like a year, right?
Yeah, but that would smell.
Maybe. It looks the same.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it's good for me. I am saying I will smash a McNuggets. Like that.
He said, bro, a germaphobe eats 30+ hour old burritos. No, I'm not. I'm not going to eat it, Lance.
You were going to at some point yesterday.
Sunday.
Yeah. At what point did you like, it's been too long, I shouldn't eat this?
That never crossed my mind. I just moved on to dinner.
It just lost your attention?
Yeah.
It was never like, this is a bad idea.
So the reason that I only have one left is because I cut the other one open and I looked at it and I didn't like the way the eggs looked. It looked more like something you'd put in an aquarium for scenery.
Yeah, they probably stopped looking egg-like after a while.
It's very bouldery.
Did you knock that one on the table, see what it sounded like?
Well, I tried to smush it with my fork, like so it would come through the spaces, and the whole thing.
Bolster? What does bolster mean?
The other year, that guy might be coach of the year.
I mean, he did get another defensive tackle out the portal.
Now, wait a minute. I don't know if I believe this.
What?
So our mutual ace, she says her chiropractor has a Happy Meal that is 20 years old, still intact.
Who's our mutual ace? Oh, I should have known. I gotta be careful here.
Is that the thing?
Probably not.
So when I worked for Noddle, I kept a oatmeal cream pie for 3 years.
Oatmeal cream pies are delicious.
They're incredible.
One of my favorite candy.
No, believe me,
not candy treats.
So I just was having conversation with said person. I only have 2 sugar vices.
Yeah,
oatmeal cream pies are 1. Gummy bears are 2. I can even get away from cinnamon rolls.
I do love a cinnamon roll though too,
and apple fritters. So I'd say there's 4, but there's only 2 that like
haunt you a little bit.
I don't even go down that aisle at the grocery store.
It's too much
because there's always something new.
Yeah,
I saw an apple Dunkin' stick. I was looking for Jell-O for Zoe's.
Oh, are they like the little like donut sticks, but they're apple?
Yes,
those are good.
Listen, I got the sweats.
Those are good, man.
I saw all of a sudden started walking past.
Like I gotta go.
My man Mike that does the meat back there. He's like, "Where you going, DB?" It's like, "Man, gotta go."
You're like, I'm running from temptation.
Gotta go. And that gots to go situation. Who keeps a Happy Meal intact though?
So here's the thing about certain people.
If this was a food show, it'd be different.
Certain people in certain professions.
Not
all of them are good.
So I follow a former McDonald's corporate chef on TikTok.
I mean, they might have a 20-year-old Happy Meal in there. They may have done something to that Happy Meal. I also, listen, I've gone to chiropractors. I like some chiropractors. I've also been to some chiropractors that are a little kooky.
Shout out chiropractors.
I went to one back in college because a friend of mine told me to go. And the dude thought he could cure type 1 diabetes with like supplements. And I was like, so I should stop taking insulin and then my family can sue you when I'm dead? Is that how this is going to go?
Depends. How's the old insurance looking?
Well, of course, he did not accept insurance.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, how are the older guys going to?
Yeah, keep it moving.
Like when you're out here saying you can claim terminal illnesses with supplements, like you probably not accepting insurance.
Move on.
So I've been to some chiropractors I don't trust 100%. That's my point.
How are we up a degree?
It's probably the chemo.
I don't know.
It's probably the nimbus in here, the clouds.
Might have to get my stand game right. It's very warm.
Like Stan Lee?
Nope.
Big Spider-Man guy?
Stand and deliver.
Oh, like Boys in the Hood.
The other ethnic group. Edward J. Olmos. Wow.
Not Jacob J. Olmos?
I don't even know who that is.
It's a really deep cut joke that you would have no idea. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I said it.
Is it an Indian thing?
No, it's not. You ever see the show How I Met Your Mother?
No.
Okay, so yeah.
Well,
there's no way you would know that.
I met my mom.
Yeah, I've also met your mom. Dee's great. We love Dee.
She's super.
You've met my mom too.
Yeah, she appears to be the only normal person in your family.
That's probably fair. Yeah, I'm not going to push back on that.
So I figured you'd know if it was going to be a white Christmas, because that's where this really all started. If you want to land the plane.
Yeah, I mean it does. It looks like it might be a little warmer than snow weather on Christmas. That's accurate. You never know though. It's December.
I won't be here, so it's okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be in New York. You might have white Christmas out there.
I saw mid 40s, low 22. Everybody acts like it's gonna be freezing. It's not gonna be freezing.
No, it's not gonna be that bad. Be about the same as this here.
Yeah.
Unseasonably warm.
Yeah, I'm ready for the snow though. I need balance.
Mid 40s is unseasonably warm for December, right?
When's winter start? The 21st, 20th,
21st.
Well, why isn't that normal behavior? I'm just curious to see how long I can take that McMuffin thing.
Why isn't what normal behavior? Well, you texted us. You're being competitive with yourself, and I was like, over what? I don't even that's usually I understand your little games, even though I think they're crazy. I don't understand that one.
So,
like, what's the end game there for the McMuffin?
The more I'm around it, the more I'm desensitized. So I don't want it.
So you'll never want another one? Is that the goal?
Just seeing how long it can go.
Well, you can't eat it now even if you wanted to.
So I think that's why I look at the pictures when I put it in my bag, but I never hit order.
Yeah.
It just looks so good on the phone. It's pretty dumb.
What do you get out of that? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Mental anguish.
Is that a reward somehow?
Yeah.
The mental anguish is a reward.
Yeah, I can practice like pushing through.
Have you considered therapy?
Dr. Stark is my best friend.
I'm just if you're like, hey, mental anguish is the reward here.
It's
like that might
it's
be
the driving mechanism to stay competitive.
But what's the reward to staying competitive?
Like the fact that I say I win another day.
So it's just like, hey, I did it. That's the whole reward. There's no tangible.
Is now the time to tell you that I have a 5-pound bag of gummy bears in my garage fridge that I have not opened?
How old is that one? That was a gift from someone, wasn't it?
Yep. Yep. That was that, my friend, was Wisconsin of last year.
Okay.
oh my goodness.
Those gummy bears probably not good anymore.
Well, they're in the fridge. They're fine.
You refrigerate gummy bears?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Oh, I don't know. For me, it is. All right, let's move on to sports.
Dante Dowdell's in the transfer
I feel
portal.
like I just incriminated myself by just merely talking.
Well, it does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us. It happens to everybody. You incriminate yourself. That's why
people ask me if that surprised. That didn't surprise me. Dante Dowdell.
Why is that?
It's just a competitive market, and I think you got guys on the open market now. I think Holgerson and company are an attractive destination for other running backs, and I think Dowdell is a high floor, low ceiling guy. So I think Nebraska knows kind of where they're at with him, and they may want to do some different things. I don't know.
I would say stylistically, maybe he doesn't fit quite as well with the Holgerson offense.
You do need a guy like, in my opinion,
Like
you could always use a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like there was a nice combination with him and Johnson at the end of the year.
You could always use a hammer.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers are ended up being pretty good. He's a little over 4 carry, Not quite 4.5, I don't think. 12 touchdowns. Like, he's going to have a market probably.
Yeah.
He's a good back. There's other systems he probably fits in better. Is that as maybe a more back?
I think it's hard to critique running backs because it has to fit your style.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we watched two guys in back-to-back days, coincidentally, both in all whites. Boy, those fighting whites are sweet.
I liked them a lot.
And Josh Jacobs and
Aaron Jones.
Yes, for Minnesota.
Yep.
Right. Change addresses.
I'll say it's confusing because the first one I was like, nope, he's not a Packer anymore. Yeah.
So, and we watched them both run, and they look spectacular, right? Sometimes just the fit and where you go in the running style. And Jacobs was always sweet, right?
Yeah.
I was like president of that dude's fan club when he was miring in obscurity, right? Shane, re-sign your guy. Hey, the Raiders and our front office, and Davis is broke, and just win, baby. So you watch these guys, and it's like sometimes backs just need different
right fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do.
I mean, Alvin Kamara had 5 carries for 12 yards the other day. I mean, I'm sure he's still pretty good. How that happens, I have no idea, but
maybe. We don't know. Running backs lose it in a hurry.
And Kamara's still pretty sweet. He's just stuck in New Orleans.
Well, yeah. I think everybody's stuck in New Orleans.
Yeah, they're bad.
Think anybody wants to be there?
No. No.
Everybody.
Although they are, I think their cap will be fixed during a year.
I think you're right. I think they should have space. Whether they use it or not, who knows?
Yeah, I think they're still loving that Mike Thomas deal they did.
Yeah. I think they're loving a lot of deals they did. How's that head coaching situation?
I think the common thing the common thing was, well, Lacey's available and guys like that, but running back market is a lot of good ones. It just depends on kind of how you want to move the ball.
Yeah, I think stylistically is important here. I agree that you could always use a guy like Dowdell, but if Dowdell looks at himself as like, hey, I'd like to be more of a feature back, he maybe doesn't love that role.
Yeah.
And there's places he probably will get that chance or could get that chance where they want more of that style on at least 2 downs instead of just, hey, late in the game, maybe we want it a little different. We've already worn the defense out a little bit. Let's start hammering them. Whereas maybe some teams want to start that way. I look at, I don't know if I don't know, but I look at like a Michigan. They probably want to start with the hammer more frequently than Nebraska's going to moving forward.
See, Edwards opted out of the bowl game.
Yeah, I did. A lot of that going on.
I haven't seen as much. Maybe I need to start paying more attention.
So there's less of people just saying, hey, I'm opting out, and more just they're hopping in the transfer portal. So I think that's where we're seeing the difference. Is before it wasn't, hey, I'm getting in the transfer portal. It's, hey, I'm opting out. I want to do whatever. Whereas now it's just, hey, we're moving on here. And you also have a lot more teams in the playoff, right? So I think you're losing a lot of those guys that would normally go to the NFL that would opt out of the bowl games are like, well, we're going to play for national championships, so I'm going to stick it out.
They want to go play and be a 10-point underdog against Bama?
Or they could go be 11-point underdog against Texas. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Coming up on the show, we got Cynthia Frelund from the NFL Network and Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. We'll be back with more Hurrdat Sports Radio coming up next.
We will be back. 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 You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat HQ, reminding you if you are on your way to work this morning, keep your eyes and focus straight ahead. As the driver, you've got one job, that is to drive. This message brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Wanted to catch up on a couple of our comments here. This one's a nice one. Our guy, Funky Giblets, says, I just want to thank you guys for making me laugh. I lost my mom 2 years ago yesterday unexpectedly. I work full-time and take care of my dad full-time. It's been real hard, but your show helps. Well, thank you, Funky Giblets.
Man, I appreciate that.
I'm glad we could help at all.
Got somebody with me on refrigerated gummy bears, too.
I do. I saw that. So
my man, Eric.
Headley Lamar says DB is becoming David Goggins right in front of all of us. My guy, well, actually, one way to preserve food is to dry it. Damon's McMuffin is probably petrified at this point. I'm petrified that he might eat the Egg McMuffin.
It felt like a baseball, didn't it?
It did. You heard me knock that thing on the table.
That thing hard?
Kobe says, my family freezes cinnamon bear. What's a cinnamon bear?
I'm not messing with that's too much concentrated cinnamon. For a guy that loves cinnamon rolls, do you know what I often will do is I will scrape out a little bit of the...
Oh, like the gooey?
It's not really the goo. It's where the, have you ever watched people make homemade? Yeah. You're married to a pastry chef. So sometimes, like when you roll this whatever,
and
get the little swirly.
Yeah.
You got to get a little bit of that out. It's too much.
Too much?
Yeah.
All right. Hot take. Cinnamon roll, less the cinnamon roll. Less the cinnamon.
Because those
are just called
I say a lot of
rolls at
stupid
that
things. Shut up. See, Cam, that's why we can't have nice things or nice people, because they're built like this dude. So a little cinnamon is fine. Too much cinnamon is not good.
No, I actually agree with you. Too much cinnamon's overwhelming. It ruins the flavor of everything else.
Call that a roll.
Yeah, I know. I still got to be mean. Eric says refrigerated.
You don't have to.
I don't know any other way.
Special.
My mom did her best to teach me. I'm just out here.
She did her best, but I guess her best wasn't good.
Skymex says oatmeal cream pies are health food. They contain oatmeal, and oatmeal is good for you.
Dude, oatmeal cream pies are
incredible. Kobe says, let's get ready to lean on Connor Booth as the hammer. Put a little weight on, turn him into Mike Allstott is what the people are wanting.
Yeah, he's good inside runner. That's for sure.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I don't know.
I think we were operating kind of under this assumption that a lot of young guys are going to play early. I don't know in this class. I mean, maybe. I don't know if I see it.
I think it depends on what how the portal shakes out.
Yeah.
I think they would like to find some
definitely a young team though.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think they'd like to find Band-Aids has a pejorative connotation, but I think they'd like to find some Band-Aids in the portal so that they don't have
what
to
I
go.
Tell you about using pejorative?
What?
Find something different.
Why?
There's lots of other words other than pejorative.
The Band-Aid has a negative connotation.
Why do you have to change your delivery?
Is that better? Why do I got to change my word choice? Because you told me to.
Cam, this passive aggressive stuff in this room is like, it's just infiltrating this space.
Oh, no.
Is that funny?
Is that pejorative?
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm a jerk sometimes.
So, more than some. Big 85%er, are you?
Technically, that is some. Anything less than 100% is some.
No, cloves greater than cinnamon. No, I think cloves are the thing that my mom used to put in apple cider that would make me
gag.
That.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
Not a cloves guy.
I couldn't pick a clove like out of a lineup. Like
I could
entirely know what clove is.
And you know what I think it is? I think that's what I don't like when you have like spiced drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you that Waterloo, that spiced apple. I was amazed at how good it was because I typically don't like spice. Insert
clovey.
I think it's clovey.
The only thing I think of when I think of clove is cigarettes.
Oh, I think potato chips.
Do they put clove in potato chips?
No, Kitty Clover was a brand of potato chip, but it wasn't. It didn't have anything to do with.
It's just clovers.
Yeah, are you too young for Kitty Clover?
I don't know what Kitty Clover is.
Your age usually isn't a problem on this show.
No, not typically, but there's a couple. Every once in a while.
Because you act like you're 59.
That's true. People call it an old soul.
Cam, do you remember Kitty Clover? Come on over to Kitty Clover.
Nope.
The taste with the hometown.
Nope.
He even tried.
I
don't even like it's fine.
I Googled it.
I was Googling. I was doing a little Google machine.
Go back to our other setup at Pillar Exteriors and go hang out with Shane.
You know Shane would have something snarky to say.
Can't be any worse than this.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. Moving studios doesn't get rid of me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Be like voices in the wall.
What is that?
Oh boy, I don't know.
Candles in the Wind? You big Elton John guy?
Actually, I am.
Elton John's great.
Oh
yeah, you were telling me to watch Rocket Man, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't yet. I'll do it.
Not the show necessarily, but like that's my favorite. That's
the
one
movie.
of my, it's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah. No, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Big Elton John guy.
Somehow Phil Collins made it onto my algorithm last night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like Phil Collins?
I like 3 songs. And the only reason I like In the Air is because our highlight video before we played Miami that Dr. Stark made was to that song.
Dr. Stark is out here making bangers.
Oh yeah. He was like our DVD. He was our hype video.
He was your hype video guy?
Yeah.
That's super funny.
They're incredible.
Did Dr. Stark invent hype videos?
I doubt it.
Because that's early for hype videos.
Yeah, they were unbelievable.
That's on the cutting edge out there.
And that, Husker Vision was just getting started. It was it was off the chain. So that's the only reason I like that song. And then I like the other sappy song. If I stumble, should I? One More Night.
I don't know.
Cam, do you know that song?
One More Night?
Yeah.
I don't think I know that one.
Please give me one more night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's about as good as I can do that song.
Oh, that was great.
Shane?
That was almost as good as I did Billy Joel the other day.
No, it's terrible. I had no idea what you're talking about.
That's just because you just don't know that song.
It's probably a good chance. It's probably a good chance. Shane, do we have Cam Bam? Do we have time to pull up Jack?
Yeah, we got 3 minutes.
This dude has got me singing.
Hot Danger says Easy Lover is a banger. That's Phil Collins.
No.
And then
Hot Danger's got range.
Joe says, dang, DB can sing.
First guy that ever said that. Ever.
We got
Joe.
Jack, Shane?
Team
Yep,
Joe.
we got him.
Jack, what's going on, bud?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Hey, I got a couple of questions for you, but before I do, I just got to tell you, these folks down here in Tennessee are crying in their beer because they got to go to Columbus and play. They think they really got shafted. But anyway,
They got a good matchup.
I know they do. Here's my question. I've heard this young man's name twice in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
I even forgot he was even on the team, to be honest with you. Lynn Hart mentioned him, and so did Ty Robinson. Tell me about Mason Goldman.
Oh, good player. So you know what's funny? You asked me about him, Jack. Somebody, I can't remember where I was, maybe the grocery store or somewhere. Somebody said, "Oh, so what's Goldman going to do?" I'm like, Goldman's a good player. He's big, he's strong. Knighton loved him. Mean-spirited.
That's
Jack, I've seen Mason Goldman in my sleep. He single-handedly ruined us a couple years in a row at the high school level. He's a big, strong kid.
All right.
He's got a chance to be pretty good.
All right, here's my question. Here's the question of the day, though. Give me the over-unders. Brule said he's going to play some of the pups in this bowl game, and I hope he does. I hope we get to see them and see what they can do. Give me the over-unders. 20 snaps on defense for Charles, Asante, Tarver, Jones, and Benning. And I'll listen to what you got to say. I hope they can play.
I'll take the over.
Appreciate it, Jack.
Jones, Sanders,
Tarver, Benning.
Jones and Benning.
Yeah.
Take the over.
20 each or total?
For sure, total.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
3 of those guys are starting on special teams.
Yeah. So we'll get 20 snaps easy.
Yeah, we finally had the conversation yesterday with Knucklehead that 35 was a fat kid number.
Did he change on purpose?
He's trying. No, he had to because of Ives and
that's right.
Being on the special teams. But now
20.
he's on 2 of the starting units, so he said he was going to go to Jay Terry and see if he wants a lower number. He's like, man, with all these guys leaving, I'm changing numbers. That's how he said it. That's kind of funny.
It is a little. Did he know that you had 35 in Carolina?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
No.
Okay.
No, that's Jay Terry. You didn't have a choice. When you're not good yet, you don't have a choice.
I don't know how it works.
You'll wear this. You're like, damn, why you put me in 61? It's not even an eligible number.
It's like, yeah, you don't got to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to see receivers in minicamp come out and they were wearing like 11. I was like, yeah, they ain't sticking around. 20 years later, it's like cool to have low numbers.
Yeah, if you're a receiver with a low number, you're probably number 1 now.
Yeah, I'll definitely take the over on that one.
I'll take that. We got a little overaction
Shoot, a
there.
couple of those guys working with the red group.
Ooh, red team.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about that. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla, Hurrdat Sports Radio. More coming up next.
will be back. We will be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat HQ in the Pillar Exterior Stage. DB. We had some weird college coaching stuff happen yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this.
Which one, like guys like Clausen and stuff?
Well, all of it really, because there was three different things that happened yesterday that I thought were really, really interesting. And I don't know if they have anything to do with each other or not, and that's why I'm hoping you can help me out. Hoping you can weave together the strings through the clouds here.
You know, I need constant affirmation. I wanted you to just say that's a fantastic job of taking a drink, and I couldn't even hear you swallow. That didn't register.
Nope, not even a little bit.
That wasn't right at the frontal lobe right there. Like, oh my god, that guy just took like 18 gulps. I didn't hear one of them. I think that was amazing.
I don't even know what to do.
I'm sorry, man. I just don't have a lot of sense sometimes.
I get that you're being competitive with yourself.
Yes.
And so like, hey, you're like, hey, I'm going to try it. Because I do the same thing. When I'm taking a drink, I'm like, hey, I'm going to try and drink this without you hearing the ice move.
Yeah.
Right. And it almost never works because the ice always moves.
So, some of these funny style dudes out here, they know.
But
I'm a quiet swallower. Oh, but what are we talking about?
But the fact that you not only are competitive with yourself, but you want me
to affirm my competitiveness.
Affirm you for this thing I didn't even know was happening.
I don't even know what's wrong with that. It sounds perfectly normal. Whatever. I bet Clausen's competitive.
Seems like maybe
that wasn't good though. That was spectacular. I didn't even move the mic.
I think the biggest affirmation I could give you was the fact that I didn't even notice you were drinking, which means you nailed it.
Let's go. I'll take it.
See?
Even though it doesn't mean as much because I had to ask for it, but
no, but see, that's how you got to take that competitiveness to the next level where you're like, if I'm so good at this, he won't even notice I'm drinking. That's the next level.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like college.
I couldn't even get you to try it.
That's how you take it to the NFL. Try what?
My sparkle.
I didn't know you were offering.
Well, you smelled it the other day. You're like, you gave it back to me like a 4-year-old.
It didn't smell good.
How does that not smell good?
It did. What didn't sound like it was for me. Didn't smell like it was my cup of tea.
No, you're gonna smell that again.
Smell...
Don't be a jerk about it.
Yeah. Oh. It doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell like something.
How's your drink?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, okay.
It's awful.
Let's take somebody else's advice.
I'm not trying to tell you it smells good though.
Why'd you pick that flavor anyway?
The energy drinks come in a
spit it out. No nuts. I
mean, all right.
AEIOU.
All right, Nimbus.
Say that really slow and be careful.
Yeah. Mbappe? Good soccer player.
Knock it off.
Kylian Mbappe. He's French.
Yeah.
Almost had a nice World Cup, but Messi stole it from him. Anyway. No, I picked that flavor because the pack from Costco comes in like 3 flavors. That's the one that seemed I was down to that one and an Arctic berry.
Read Curtis's comment, not to throw you for a curveball.
It's fine. I mean,
he understands what I said about Pat.
Yeah.
It's a play on something that apparently Curtis is hip to too.
I'm not hip to it. I don't know what the first part of that means.
It's cultural.
What kind of culture?
Contemporary.
I thought you were going to say urban.
Not doing this with you today.
Not doing this with you.
Doing what?
Get back to Dave Claus.
I was trying.
And plus, we're within striking distance from Bill, so we have to be careful.
He's in Salt Lake City this week. It's fine.
Nice. Midvale? What parts? Park City?
I don't know.
That dude stays in Utah.
He just tells me he goes to Utah. I don't know where he's going.
So you guys are tighter. I don't know what happened. He used to be my guy. Get me out the fam. T-Max will hit pause. I know. I'm not going to say it.
I don't. You're going to have to explain it to me off air because I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure, no problem.
Just all sorts of cultural things going on.
Yeah.
Cultural, generational with the kitty clover chips.
Now, Kitty Clover was fire.
That's fine.
There are some older people that listen that understand Kitty Clover.
I'm sure they do.
Kitty Clover and Betsy Baker.
Was that a what? So those just regular potato chips?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back when you could get like 4 packs.
It looked like they were coming in a can.
Well,
Did they come in a can?
It's like excellence, Ravi. It comes packaged a lot of different ways.
Okay. So Dave Clausen resigned at Wake Forest.
This scam is why you don't let people out of the house.
That's why they had us here at HQ. Like
Because they thought we'd be like,
we gotta keep this thing under wraps a little bit. They're getting a little loose at the bar.
it's close to the holidays.
I know.
And it's like I feel like those teachers and administrators that have to like gut out the last week of school. It's like before break where everybody's like incorrigible.
100%. Where you're just
but I'll be better.
Everybody's a little squirrely.
We've been wanting to talk about these coaching changes.
I may not be better. I can't make it. I can't make that.
Do you like Nebraska's hire?
With Addison?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
How about him just ripping through interviews with players already?
Yeah, that's good.
So nobody, I won't say nobody. Well, my main man Lance didn't like the sandwich analogy. But I think the sandwich analogy hits close to home here. I remember I talked about some people like Subway, some people like Jimmy John's, some people like Jersey Mike, some people like Gandolfo's.
Yeah, you got the different ingredients.
They're just different sandwiches. Shout out to Lil King. I mean, nobody's paying me, so it's not like if you want me to just be exclusive, hey, hit your boy up. But Isn't that how it works?
I think so.
I don't have an agent.
You need a sandwich sponsor.
Yeah. Sponsored by, Lord knows I do as many sandwiches as I used to eat. But listen.
Although if you leave them in your bag like that, nobody's going to sponsor you.
It's called competitive balance. I'm balancing my competitiveness. It's different. Knock it off.
Sandwiches. Good sense. Hot Danger says good sense is good too. Hot Danger, he's out on good sense.
So that's who takes care of us at the network when we're in studio. They always send over these little. I didn't know they made 3-inch sandwiches.
I didn't either.
Yeah, they're like 3 inches, and you could eat about 37.
I was gonna say, what good is that?
So I felt bad. This is the first time that I ate in front of those guys because it was a later game, and we were there in the afternoon, and I had to take like 6 of them. No, probably 4. Yeah, legit 4, just to put the meat together. And they're watching me like toss the. I just think they're mortified. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll explain later, guys. I promise I'm not being a glutton.
I'm just being wasteful.
Okay, Mom. Why couldn't you just let me have my moment?
I don't know.
I'm done with the story now. Back to the DB coach. What? Why couldn't you just let that ride?
I'm sorry.
I'd just be wasteful. It's fine. Nobody else is gonna eat it.
Lee says give Blimpie a call.
Oh, fire.
He says
they were in, and I think the only one left is at the airport, though.
Is there only one left?
Man,
in the city?
There used to be a Blimpies on 144th and Blondo. And I've never lived until now
on the south side of Dodge.
I would crush that Blimpies.
Yeah,
that was my jam.
Used to go to Blimpies a lot.
But so with like the personality traits, you're getting a guy in Addison who is extremely personable,
very relational.
Yes, like you can just tell. You listen to the players. He's already gone through like his player interviews, or like he worked.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, well, he wasn't messing around.
I mean,
he wasn't messing around, and it's just a nice balance to the tactical strategy, kind of the big picture thinking. Like so you got the good meat, right? Because that's the bulk of the sandwich. That's the X's and O's, the tactic, the
strategy, the whole thing.
Yeah, the technical
the football
versus tactical. Stuff. And not that Addison, he knows plenty of football, especially as a former DC. It's just that he can be the relational piece.
Yeah.
While he's instructing, that's the part where you can get the good.
You think there's a reflection of that with Holgorsen on the offense, where Holgerson's really more about like the football stuff.
Yeah.
And then the positional group and the assistants,
the Barthels, the Shorts,
the Moseys.
Yep. He said Mosey.
Mosey.
Hey, come on out of your ivory tower where you're recruiting your brains out and come coach.
Well, you got, and I know people wouldn't look at Raiola necessarily and be like, oh,
no, he's a heck of
hugely relational guy, right?
He's sensational.
He seems a little prickly on the outside, but like his guys will ride with him. Right.
Yeah.
So it is kind of interesting that that's how both sides of the ball, the staff has sort of started to shake out.
Shout out Witch Witch.
Oh, Witch Witch is good. I'll mess around with some Witch Witch.
If I made more money, I'd go to Witch Witch.
I'm trying to think of
they're incredible.
Yeah, Witch Witch is good. Ooh. You a big pepper jacks guy at all?
I don't like hot sandwiches.
Oh, really? See, I dramatically.
I mean, they're fine, but I would never pay for it
on purpose.
Yeah.
I dramatically prefer hot sandwiches.
That's weird. You remind me of a time I almost killed a coach.
What?
I smoked a tri-tip.
Okay.
Sliced it beautifully. It was, getting rave reviews. Brought it to the coach's office. Coach Queen, try this. I don't eat cold meat. No, coach, this is incredible. You've got to try this. I don't eat cold meat. Coach Queen. You got to try this. Dude put it in his mouth. He chewed it like 4 seconds. He walked over. He threw it in the trash. He said, "Man, that flavor is amazing."
I said, "You
spit it out." He said, "I told you I don't eat cold meat." Oh, I wanted to. Oh boy,
is that any different than you wiping sauce off a meatball? You don't eat saucy meat. You don't eat cold meat. I think we're kind of in the same neighborhood here.
I didn't waste it though.
Wasted the sauce.
Plenty of that to go around.
That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. Cynthia, Frelund coming up next to talk about the NFL here on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Jackson wants to throw, spreading to the right, spreads out. Now he goes deep. He's got a man wide open. Rashad Bateman has it at the 10. Pace of the 5. Sides up the tackler. Touchdown, Ravens!
Burrow has the ball. It's a deep drop. He throws before getting hit. Deep ball for Higgins.
Yeah.
He catches it.
Yeah.
Touchdown! Nice. Bengals. Rattler rolling to his right. Looking, firing, throws.
Incomplete! Incomplete! Washington wins 20-19!
Kicking off hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We are joined now by Cynthia Frelund from the NFL Network. Cynthia, how are you this morning?
Doing great, thank you. It's great to hear from you guys. Happy holidays.
Well, we would take you as often as we could get you, but you have this thing called a real job, so we had to kind of stagger this thing.
It was great to talk to you guys.
So I got to give you some credit because I'll never forget. It's all about the delivery, right? That's what makes jokes funny. So this was probably 6 weeks ago, 5, and I'm like, hey, teams you believe in, teams you don't. All right, teams you trust. And I was going through a little laundry list, and I got to with the first 3 teams, you're kind of taking your time. And I said, the New York Jets, and you go, absolutely not. And I was like, hey, do you want to think about that a little longer? Isn't it amazing how we're 6 weeks removed? And that, friends, it's somehow, and I get it, they beat Jacksonville on Sunday, but what kind of job is that's going to come open in New York, Cynthia?
Well, I was thinking as I was reading yesterday about how they were doing GM interviews without doing, they can't do coach interviews right now. So I guess it's going to be even weirder job if they don't allow people to kind of interview together. So now the strategy seems to be that the GM will help pick the coach. And that for a head coach in a situation where is Aaron Rodgers returning? I mean, it doesn't feel like it. Do they have a lot of other problems? Absolutely. Is Josh Allen still in their division? So I don't know. Now it's like, okay, now you're making it less of an attractive job, like less fun, less exciting. I don't know. But I mean, I guess in many ways, though, there are only 32 of these jobs. And while about 8 come open every year, you're still probably going to roll the dice.
Cynthia, speaking of how good a job is or not, you would look at the Bears and their roster and their young QB and be like, oh man,
even polls,
that's a great job. And then you look at everything else in the franchise and you go, ooh, I don't know if I want that job. Like, how do you think coaches will balance what looks like a pretty good situation football wise, which has sort of been a dumpster fire administratively?
Well, I will say I have a little bit of a bias here because I did go to college with Ryan Poles and I'm friends with him.
He's fantastic. I can't believe it. But we know Kevin Warren here. So
yeah, we've got some experience with
I believe
Kevin
everything that Poles is intimating.
Well, yeah, I mean, at some point things have to change there, but now you're talking about the most difficult division in sport. One of the most difficult. The Norths right now are ridiculous, and the West and the AFC. But this is also a very hard division now. So I don't know. It feels like at least you got a few pieces on the field that really were. I mean, having a quarterback is a very huge leg up.
So Cynthia, staying on coaches here for just a second before we get into stuff that's actually on the field, as you see sort of the situations, whether it's in Atlanta, whether it's in Chicago, whether it's in Vegas, do you think any teams look around and go, hey, maybe we shouldn't have laughed Bill Belichick out of the room?
I mean, I was just surprised Bill Belichick didn't wait until the full hiring cycle happened. I mean, I know, and we all know that right now coaches are being sort of like teams are narrowing down their focus on which coaches they want to hire. Even teams who haven't even fired their coach yet are doing that. But I was just surprised that he didn't go through the hiring cycle before. I mean, college is a hard job, man. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure some people are like, oh man, like I wish we could have at least interviewed him.
It's interesting here locally in Nebraska. I think Coach Rule would tell you that he works significantly more hours as a college coach than he did in the NFL. In the NFL, you're working 100+ hour weeks, right? It's just year round. College football is incredibly difficult because there truly is no off season.
Yeah, and you don't even play as many games. I mean, like the payoff is like less,
less actual football.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So let me ask you something, Cynthia. I want to go back to something you mentioned about the AFC West, and obviously Chiefs have locked this thing up at 13-1, and but I'm curious to get your thoughts. Who's the next best team in the AFC West?
I think if I were to only pick it based on like who I want to be a fan of, like next couple of years, I actually think Denver's doing a really bang up job. Now, there are some caveats there because clearly, Bo Nix is new. He's still figuring out all of the things he needs to figure out, but it feels good. And you got Justin Herbert there too, and Justin Herbert's a more known quantity, right? But what I'm looking at, kind of that defense for Denver, I mean, they're doing great. And if you think about it, I know they paid a decent amount of money, but not anywhere near what some other teams have had to pay. And getting rid of that Russell Wilson contract is going to be a hard thing for them. But I just think it's kind of exciting to have that many young players. Like their draft class is excellent. So that many young players for longer just feels like very exciting. Whereas the Chargers, they pass rush, they'll have to reload the coffers there pretty soon. And wide receivers, I know Ladd McConkey is great, and Quentin Johnson managed to haul a few in this year instead of drop them. But I don't know. I feel like there's so many young players on that Broncos team that it's just exciting.
Cynthia, all right. So I think there's 6 teams I feel really good about in the NFL right now. But I do think each one of them has a fatal flaw. So what I'd like to do is go through them with you, and you tell me which fatal flaw matters the most and which one matters the least. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with my co-host's favorite team here, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would say their fatal flaw is offense in general, specifically the quarterback position. Is that fair?
I mean, I think they solved quarterback. I think the bigger problem there is that, you got to solve now. Can George Pickens stay healthy? You can't have the quarterback do everything.
Fair enough. Okay. So their offense in general, health, how much does that fatal flaw matter to you if you're Pittsburgh, or if you're trying to look at Pittsburgh as a championship contender?
I mean, this game against the Ravens this week is really indicative of how far they'll be able to go, because that's a team that knows them very well. It's a team that has, the things that they're good at. Presumably the Ravens aren't good at defending, like the deep pass, for example. And I don't know if we'll see George Pickens back, but I don't know what's going to be the game plan going forward. But you gotta see if they can handle the Ravens and win the division. That's a big deal. I don't have them doing it, but I think that will be that's a huge test right there.
All right, team number 2, your Detroit Lions. The only thing I can think of is health, right? Which has become a huge issue for them. How much of a problem is that for them? Because I mean, a lot of these guys aren't coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Lions, and I'm not being biased here, but I think they're done. Like, I mean, they're not done. Obviously, they're going to the postseason, but there's just too many. At some point, when the number of people who are on IR exceeds like 17, like you've got a problem. It's super unlucky. But they're a much better team than how the season forecast to finish for me.
With the Eagles, I would put their fatal flaw as just drama and general chemistry. How much does that bother you?
I think it's a little bit overblown, just because, I've never met and I love Eagles fans, don't get me wrong, but I've never met an Eagles fan that doesn't make a mountain out of a molehill with anything to do with their team. So I think it's a bit overblown. That's my new Super Bowl. That's who I think goes to the Super Bowl from the NFC. And that's what I thought all season long, to be fair. That was my preseason Super Bowl pick too.
I mean, it's looking pretty good right now. Kansas City, we've got Mahomes' health, and then just the fact that they haven't actually looked that good all year, despite being 13-1. How concerned are you about Kansas City as a championship contender?
Their left tackle situation is their complete limiting factor. And, just like the Lions, you can have a great regular season, but it's how you finish, not how you start.
All right, let's go with the Buffalo Bills here. I'm going to put their flaw as their defense in general and their tendency to get into kind of these shootouts. If you've got a different one, please let me know. But how concerned are you about Buffalo?
Yeah, I'll refine that a little bit, and it's specifically play action. A lot of teams use play action, including the Lions, including clearly the Lions and the Rams. So I would say their ability to stop play action, especially on a team that can establish the run, like that would be devastating come an AFC one sample game size in the playoffs. That could be.
So, Cynthia, let me ask you about a job it's open, and what happened so quickly in New York from a well-run franchise to just needing to find a quarterback to having some good pieces on defense to now 2-12? What happened in the last 8 weeks in New York?
Well, they invested a lot of their money in that defensive front, and then when you get a guy who leads the league in pressures despite being double teamed in Dexter, he's like sexy Dexy getting put on the injury on IR. Like he is not like that. Like they're not in a situation where they're even playing with where they've invested their money. Like strategy isn't cohesive, right? They have not given any receivers. Like who I understand Malik Neighbors this year, but prior to this year, between the O-line and the receivers, when your lead receiver, and Wan'Dale Robinson is I'm sure a very nice person, but if that's like your lead receiver and then your second one's maybe, Jalen Hyatt, like that's a hard place to succeed. And then, Saquon being gone. And then, obviously their first year under Brian Daboll, they kind of outkicked their coverage in terms of, winning a playoff game against the Vikings. Like that set the expectations sky high. And when you're in New York, it's hard to keep those expectations going. I mean, even those, I remember, all the chatter and talk, and it was like a Super Bowl winning team with David Tyree beating the Patriots with a one-handed helmet catch, So it can never be it can never be, unless it's a Super Bowl, the Giants fans won't be happy. But, it's truly like, it's kind of knowing the O-line not investing in the right pieces there, and the pass game, and then getting hurt on top of that on defense.
We're talking with Cynthia Frelund from the NFL Network. Cynthia, you mentioned the Vikings in a different context, but this year you look at them and you go, okay, that's a team that's defense is really good. They've played really well all year. Their point differential is great. And then you still go, okay, am I really going to trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs? How much do you trust Minnesota?
I actually think that, like they're playing with house money, and sometimes that can be dangerous, right? I don't think ahead of the season, even Kevin O'Connell was like, hey, we're a Super Bowl team. I don't think so, especially with all, with JJ McCarthy going down like right before the season started. I don't think that they would have thought that. So there's something dangerous about a team that thinks that that already feels like they're underdogs. Remember the Eagles with all that underdog stuff. But ultimately, they have the pieces to be able to do it. It's just that sometimes those pieces don't come together. And I watched Cam Robinson in a game against the Bears last night where it's not like these Bears were, it wasn't a, what's the word I'm looking for? Closely contested game. And he still had a bunch of stupid penalties, right? And that's a big deal, especially because he obviously comes in to replace Christian Darrisaw. And that's that left tackle position, though. That could be a problem for them if they can't kind of keep it together with that. The offense has to play really, really well for them to be able to withstand any adversity.
Cynthia, let me ask you something. This is kind of a tricky question because you always want your quarterback and kind of your team in general to be a reflection of your head coach. And I think we think a lot of Shane Steichen, but the Colts don't appear to do a lot of things. They don't appear to have real high-level execution when it comes to their football acumen. Fair or foul that we try to separate the two, or is this the way that they look? Is this on Steichen?
I think what we need to first look at is how does Shane Steichen handle like the off season, right? I know that they're not officially eliminated, but it'd be very hard for the Colts to make the playoffs at this point. But I want to see if they need to make some. First of all, when your defense plays nothing but zone, no matter if it's working or not, then there's some strategy that you can address right there. There's one thing you can do. Number two, what are you going to do about Anthony Richardson? Because I don't know if that experiment has gone the way that they thought it would. They have a good O-line. They have some pieces. They clearly have, a marquee running back it's still in his prime. They have, they have a number of pass catchers that are, at least very good, maybe not elite, but they're good. And now you have a situation where is it Anthony Richardson or not? And it was just ironic in this last week's game against Bo Nix, but Bill Parcells used to always say that, like, he would judge quarterbacks by how much experience they had in college, and no quarterback had more experience than Bo Nix. But Anthony Richardson was the exact opposite. And now 2 years later, you're kind of seeing Anthony Richardson not be able to take that step forward. Remember, he played like he started very few games in college. So it's interesting to see, like, can he, quote unquote, be fixed? AKA, when I hear that, I hear, can he learn to read defenses and adjust and become a little bit more of a system guy as opposed to ad-libbing and coming up with things on his own?
Cynthia, when I'm looking at speaking of quarterbacks here and young quarterbacks, although this one a little bit older than Anthony Richardson, I've kind of been the king of, hey, you don't have to pay that guy. And then I look at my 49ers, and they've got a decision coming up with Brock Purdy, who arguably has earned the money more than almost any other young quarterback that's gotten paid on that second contract. But when you look at their window with their aging stars, whether it's Trent Williams, whether it's on the defensive side of the ball with, your Fred Werners and your Drew Greenlaws and these guys kind of aging out of their prime, where do you land on paying a guy like Brock Purdy versus kind of having to reassemble some of this roster on the fly?
I mean, I would not make, and I'm sure Kyle would agree, like Brock Purdy, at least the cap's going up significantly again, right? I think I saw something like, it's well over 225. I don't know. They haven't announced it officially yet. They did some estimating, and the estimates are out where it's going up pretty big yet again. So if you give him a contract that looks like a Joe Burrow contract, which sounds bananas since we think of Joe Burrow and remember he went to a Super Bowl, et cetera. But, if you give him that contract now, it's been a couple of years, that's actually not top tier money anymore. So what I'm saying is he'll probably command what looks like a huge number. But if you're talking about rebuilding versus not, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, you need to keep the baby. You need to keep the quarterback. That's the most important position in all of football for a reason. And if you're not going to they'll pay him a big salary, but it will look huge. But I still think it will be something where they're going to get that start with your quarterback. Never ever give up on the quarterback. There's not even 32 of them in the world. So when you've got one, pay them.
Cynthia, I feel like the answer may have changed from about 5 or 6 weeks ago when we went through this exercise about potential job openings. Since then, I think Dallas has probably come off the hot seat topic, and I don't know. The Giants.
I still think it's pretty hot.
Yeah, I get it. Depending on what's available, but I was just looking at the Saints this morning on Spot Track and seeing what was going on with their cap space. Of the potential job openings, we've talked about the Bears and dysfunctional in the front office, even though Poles is a stud. What job would Cynthia Frelund take going into 2025?
I mean, I would take the Bears because I at least would trust my GMs, but that's a very personal answer. I take that out of it. I do actually think, I mean, I guess my question is are we assuming that the Jags are?
I think the Jags, that's going to come open.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I like, at least in certain places, I'd take a look at my division, right? I told you, I think the NFC North is very competitive. I think it will remain competitive at least for a couple of years. And so that could be tough. Not that I don't think that the Texans are tough, but if you're telling me I get a quarterback and I get to play in a division that's down, and I don't trust the Colts and I don't trust the Titans, I don't know. You're giving me a quarterback, you're giving me a couple pass rushers. At least I feel like I have a head start there.
So do you think Stefanski makes it?
He better. I will lose my mind if that man gets fired.
It would be unfortunate. And because I'm with you. I agree.
He's a wonderful coach and a better person. He's been through some like garbage. So I mean, if I think everyone would revolt. I think there would be a revolt.
Interesting.
If they did let go of him, would he instantly be would he'd be the first coach of both off the market?
Ahead of Vrabel?
Of the guys who are getting a second chance, I mean, to be fair, the only reason I might say no is because I don't think anyone expects him to become available. So I haven't been thinking about him. So that would be the only reason for a no. But they should make room. but yeah.
So they have the Bengals, Dolphins, and Ravens left. I mean, they may not win.
I don't think they do win, especially, I mean, DTR is a very nice human being, but that's not a, scary quarterback. At least Jameis is erratic. He can connect. But
he's scary in every way possible.
This FSU guy saying that too, so it's like tough.
I mean, he's at least a great interview. He's a great interview. But they could not win. You're right, they could. But I don't think they are expecting very much. I don't think this is a team where hey, we really need to finish strong this season. I don't think that's where they're at.
What happens in New England with Mayo?
Oh, I think he's
pretty safe.
That's the job if it came open. That would be the one. Even though Josh Allen's there, I don't care. I still think Drake May's great. But I think they keep him. I don't think there's they've exceeded expectations. Everyone thought they'd be a 2-win team, but I think just the way Drake May looks, considering all of their injuries, I think that has exceeded expectations, more than anything.
And they close Bills, Chargers, Bills. That's going to be a 3-win team.
I mean, but it feels like a more win. They felt competitive more often, though.
Yeah.
As far as the 3-win teams go, I would rather want them than I still think it's a mess in Carolina, or the Raiders, or I don't know. There's a lot of mess out there, and I feel like they're at least they've hit bottom and they're on their way back up, as opposed to some of the other ones where you're we don't know who the quarterback is. This could be a massive problem for a long time.
Go ahead.
Cynthia, I'm curious, we looked at the positive. What's the best job available out of the jobs that are available or the jobs you think will become available? What's the most hopeless situation that you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole?
Yeah. I mean,
gotta be the Jets.
I don't know if I'd touch the Cowboys with the 10-foot pole. It just feels like that would, if that became available, that would be tough because that's a hard situation with Jerry Jones. I think it's very difficult, although they have a great quarterback for sure. And they have Micah Parsons, who they said they, quote, can't imagine not being there. So that would be great. But I don't know, I think I'd feel anxious all the time. So no, not that one. I don't know if I'd touch any of them. They all feel there's massive flaws in all of them. I mean, the Raiders are a turnstile for coaches. And I love Max Crosby. I think he is one of the absolute most special players ever. And even so, I'm ooh, that feels like a recipe for disaster. So
nobody clamoring to go to New Orleans.
Oh no, I don't want anything to do with New Orleans.
real quick.
No, their cap situation is insanely bad.
Yep.
It's so bad that I don't know how that's just terrible. It's a terrible situation.
Real quick, Cynthia, who wins the NFC West?
I think that I know the Seahawks looked really bad this past week, but I think they managed to pull it off. Now I'm caveating that if Geno Smith is back, they can pull it off with Geno. But I the Rams are not someone who in the postseason, I think they could make it even if they don't win. But Rams are not a team I'd want to play right now. They are another one playing with house money and a very experienced quarterback.
That's Cynthia Frelund from the NFL Network. Cynthia, we appreciate it as always. Talk again soon.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Really. Happy holidays.
You too. Coming up next.
We will be back. 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 You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Halfway through the show here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you've got live women's college basketball on Nebraska Public Media. See all the action when Wyoming comes to Omaha to take on the Creighton Blue Jays at DJ Sokol Arena. See, that's from Wyoming to Omaha. Wyoming, West, Omaha, over here.
Just want you to know, I'm not going to stand for this burrito slander much longer.
Make sure you check it out December 17th, 6 p.m. Central on Nebraska Public Media. What's slander? It's not slander if it's true, DB.
I was going to eat it.
But you didn't.
It's fine. I mean, I get it. I just don't. I keep things in the fridge for a while.
Listen, I don't mind keeping things in the fridge. It's keeping things in the microwave.
Well, I moved it from the microwave to the fridge.
After like a day and a half. That's not food safety anymore.
No, I put it in there yesterday morning. It was a day. It wasn't even a full 24 hours.
That's a long
DoorDash
time.
didn't drop it off until like 9:43 Sunday morning.
That's a long time. You weren't home at 9:43.
No, I know. I put it in there probably.
So it was more than 24 hours.
When did I send you guys the picture?
10:30, 11?
Yeah.
That's at least 25 hours.
Did you see the sausage sticker, though? There's extra meat in there.
I know.
Even $9.43.
Even more wasteful.
Stop it. So apparently eating cold meat is a bad take, too.
I don't mind cold meat. So
I'm not going to reheat a steak the next day.
No, I get it.
I may put it in like some foil in the oven at like 200 and it'll take 45 minutes, but I don't want to recook it.
Yeah. Because it messes with the temp, it messes with the texture, the whole thing.
Certainly the texture. So I just eat it cold.
Listen, I'll throw in this. I know you don't eat like a lot of salads.
I had one the other day.
But I'll throw, if I've got
I had one with Adam.
If I've got leftover steak, I'll throw it in a salad because then it's appropriate for it to be cold. And I like that. You don't like a steak salad?
No, it's too much work.
How is that too much work?
Just eat the steak and then just eat the salad.
Or you can just put them together. You got steak salad. It's delicious. Salad's good.
Salads are a good salad's a lot of work.
I love salad. It's good salad.
Nah.
Not better than steak salad?
No, there was a joke in there.
I'm just saying. You said some stuff. You said some stuff today. I let go too. All right.
Close to the holidays. I got to be like.
You said some stuff today. I let go too.
'Tis the season, man.
I know you don't think I did. But
joy to the world.
Some stuff I could have said and I didn't.
It's fine.
They may have to burn a timeout too.
I can't believe Kevin Warren is running the Bears.
I can't believe.
But the Bears have been a bad franchise.
Yeah, it's
but
not
Poles is a stud, though.
Oh, he is. He's assembled a great roster.
He's a stud.
That's all he's in charge of. That's all he can do, right? Is assemble a great roster, which he's done, which is the only reason that job is even a little bit attractive. Because the franchise in and of itself is a dumpster fire, has been for 40 years. Has been for mostly longer than that, too. They only got it right for a couple years in the 80s.
Ready?
Yeah.
Answer the question as soon as I ask it.
I'll do my best.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Which job would you take first? Jets, Giants, Saints?
Giants.
Really?
Better organization.
Has been, but boy, did the wheels come off that thing.
It did, but the wheels have come off that thing before, and as organizationally, they've been fine. That's a no-brainer for me.
How are the Saints? The Saints may not recover for a second. That's a good football organization.
They've been okay in the past, but I don't know. I struggle with the Saints a little bit. They've been famous.
They have a Super Bowl in the last 15 years.
I mean, 15 years ago, exactly 15 years.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Would you like a list of the teams in the NFL that don't have a Super Bowl in the last 15 years?
Almost all of them.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm just saying
perspective matters.
Well, and I'm taking an even wider lens perspective to the Saints and their organization because they haven't always.
What kind of wide lens? Like the kind.
Well, I mean, if we're looking 40 years back with the Bears,
that Cam is rolling
with.
Oh no,
that's not a wide lens. I don't think. I don't know. I actually don't know. For as many cameras around this place, I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, for as much as life happens, I don't know anything about life. You know, I don't know.
But if we're taking a 40,
Kobe just said the camera angle sucks. Is he joking?
If we're talking a 40,
is Kobe being snarky?
I don't know.
Sorry, do you want me to focus?
I don't. It's up to you.
I'm here.
But if we're taking a 40-year lens with the Bears, why can't we take a 40-year lens with the Saints, where they've mostly been a bad franchise? Like outside of a little stretch there in the mid 2000s.
Ravi here for being anti Dalton Hilliard.
I'm here for being that's not been a very good franchise for most of its existence.
What about Swilling and Jackson and Vaughn and Sam Mills?
You're just saying names now.
Dude, that patrol was nice.
How good was that team?
They were okay.
Yeah, they were just okay. That's most of the Saints' history is, we're just okay. And then you've got much worse than that. And then you've got a little sliver that's much better than that. There's not a ton of history to be like, that's a great franchise.
Yeah, but that was the greatest 4-pack ever right there with the linebackers.
That's Old Patrol? Yeah, they were legit. I don't know. They weren't. Wash your mouth out, young man, in that little birdhouse of yours. That was not the greatest linebacking core ever.
Oh, you're going to go with the 70 Steelers?
Yeah, pretty much. And they may not be it.
So what are your candidates besides 70 Steelers?
The 85 Bears had an
Bears,
incredible. Yeah. The 86 Giants were incredible with Carson, Pepper, and LT.
Okay.
There's been some cores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look at the Saints as that good of a franchise. I never have. I look at Breeze and Peyton as outliers within that franchise.
David. So remember like when Kevin Warren first left and I was like, hey, you got to give him some. I just went through this whole deal and everybody thought it was a black thing, but it wasn't. I get mad at black people too. But he's not been good in Chicago. So what I can't get over, and I used to overlook this, but I do think it matters when you have to speak to the masses. He's not a very good speaker. He comes across as unsure for a guy that's that bright.
Yeah.
And he's clearly smart.
Yeah.
He's not a very he just doesn't sound very believable.
Yeah, he's not convincing.
Like at all.
We ran into this with Scott Frost too. Like he wasn't comfortable up there. And so he came off as less believable than he probably was.
Yeah.
Especially early. Like,
I mean, did you listen to Lauren last week? I was like, I don't believe a word of that.
Yeah. You actually run into that with really bright people a lot that aren't super comfortable.
No, I get it. I told you my story about what Noddle and Alan Murrow told me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you can speak, you're like the top 3%.
Yeah, because a lot of people can't do it no matter how well they know the information. Yeah. Right. And so you run into that a lot with super bright people. You run into that a lot with people who are high achievers in other areas that don't require that type of skill set.
I can't stand Daniel.
What did
I'm
he
gonna
say?
turn the comments off.
What did he say?
It's like, I don't know so much about it's the camera angle. It just looks like Damon's in the principal's office getting a talking to. Cam, help. Cam doesn't give a what. He's like, man, listen, I'm here for audio only, baby.
Brandon said,
good morning.
Good uncomfortable Taylor Martinez. That's a good one.
I just wanted to shut Taylor Martinez down, and everybody, well, it's the quarterback of Nebraska. He's got to talk. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
Don't have to.
I wanted him to shut down.
That's a guy that probably would have been better off not talking to the media, not having to do that part of the job. Right?
Sure.
I mean, I think so. You don't think Taylor? That's why you wanted him shut down, right? He would have been better off.
Yeah, he just didn't like it, and he knew he didn't. He admitted as such.
Yeah, it's a tough situation there, and I don't know how much to put on Kevin Warren. I mean, obviously we've got our history here with him in the Big Ten, and then you've got him out in Chicago, and it doesn't look like it's gone great there. I don't know how much to put on him. I don't know how much to put on. I don't know how much to put on just the Bears organization in general. That's not been a good group, no matter who's like. It's not like Kevin Warren's been there for 40 years. Like he's a part of the problem, yes, but I can't look at him in the last 3 years and be like, oh, or 2 years, however long he's been there, and say, oh, that's the reason they're a bad organization, because they've been a bad organization long before him. Right. So I don't know. Like I can look at Mark Davis with the Raiders and be like, that's why they're a bad organization. Like pretty definitively. I can look at
that's why you would take the Giants.
Sounds like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, because I trust the
a little 5-footer just chiming in like voice of the gods. Where'd he come from?
And the Raiders, low-hanging fruit, and the Raiders still can't reach it. But yeah, that's why I picked the Giants, because I trust their ownership. I don't trust Woody Johnson at all. I don't trust Saints ownership. I do trust the Mara family. That's a family that's done it well for the entire existence of that franchise for the most part. Yeah, they've had some years where they weren't great, but they were never a dumpster fire as a franchise. All those other plays, like I get the drama and stuff in Dallas. I wouldn't even consider the
I was
Raiders'
surprised
job,
that was Cynthia's answer.
because I think you get all the drama and nonsense of Dallas with the Raiders without the upside of the roster. Right? Because that roster in Dallas is better than the roster in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly. And it's not like you get less drama and less problems with Mark Davis. They might not be as loud, but they're certainly not any better.
The thing about it, though, is Jerry does give you a chance to win.
Yeah, he'll spend money. He'll give you a chance to win. He'll give you what you need. If you can deal with him wanting to talk, which is not in the grand scheme of things that big of a problem.
Yeah.
I get there's a lot of drama there and a lot of pressure, but he doesn't really fire coaches either. Like he gives them a pretty long leash to deal with, which is exactly what you want as a head coach. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. More Hurrdat Sports Radio coming up next.
We will be back. We will be back. be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla, and it's time for Bright Nights. They're back at Lawrence and Gardens. Get your tickets now to Omaha's brightest holiday tradition and celebrate the holiday season with thousands of colorful lights, whimsical illuminated features. They got the train, which DB liked, and they've got a 20-foot tall poinsettia tree and much more. You can even see Santa there. Make sure you get to lawrenceandgardens.org to get your tickets and check out the hours and check what day Santa's going to be there.
And don't forget, it's temperature controlled.
Yes. Now, there's an outside part. You can go hang out.
Get your s'mores
game right. Maybe check out the igloo. But there's a lot indoors. You don't have to worry about the weather, although it is going to be unseasonably warm.
Stop saying that.
Unseasonably. Why?
Because I like balance.
You know, I don't control the weather by saying it.
Well, I feel like you're rubbing it in when you keep talking about it.
I'm not rubbing it in.
That's seasonably warm.
I would like a white Christmas as well.
Got that right. What?
I'm a big Bing Crosby guy. White Christmas.
The guy that played Rudolph or had the voice for Rudolph?
Nope.
Wasn't that Bing Crosby?
Burl Ives.
One of the B words. Well, I get them all confused.
There's some other B words. Like Benning.
Wow.
What?
You kill me with that. You know exactly what. You're worse than Zoe.
What'd I do?
What? Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Flipping child.
What?
That's why these coaches are quitting.
I don't think that's true. I think they're quitting because they're babies.
You think Odom, like a guy like Clausen, is a baby?
Yeah. He said it was the same reasons that like Tony Bennett left at Virginia.
Well, his presser gave it away.
I think they're a bunch of babies. I get it's a hard job.
Well, it's not like being a brain surgeon, clearly.
No, it's not. A lot more on the line.
See those guys quitting.
No, they don't. They make a lot of money too. They're not quitting, even though they could kill people.
Wow.
Although somebody did say I had the analogy wrong. It was more like an ER trauma surgeon.
Yeah, I like that person too. That was a good analogy.
That's a good analogy.
I think I actually like that one.
Yeah. And that's fair. A lot more different scenarios, a lot more coming at you you can't prepare for. Like, that's a fair analogy.
I like how he walked us through it too.
Yeah.
He didn't just like do a drive-by.
That's how you end up with a trauma surgeon is drive-bys. One of them anyways. You gotta be careful out there.
Shut up.
That thing wet.
You gotta be careful. You end up with a trauma surgeon in the ER.
I'll be glad when we go back to the exterior Pillar Stage studio where I can sit further away from you.
Does that make it any better?
Yeah. Denny just asked me about the booth.
Yeah.
And the pinstripe
in
bowl.
New York.
I just sent him a picture.
Yeah, you guys are kind of in a rough spot.
It's gonna be tough.
It's not great.
No.
You know, we baseball stadiums famously not terrific for other sporting events.
It's gonna be tough.
You remember when that was a thing? When it was just like, hey, we're just doing both right here.
Yeah, I do. We're gonna do a couple of shows, I think, from the practice site too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure. I mean, you're 590 people, so
tune on in.
Yeah, that app ready.
Get that Husker radio network going.
I'll tell you about the young pups that Jack wants to see.
What about the young pups?
Shoot, I don't know.
I like dogs.
A lot of the older guys haven't. I mean, kind of have come. They come and go.
Yeah.
So whomever is playing will really want to be playing.
Yeah, I will be interested to see what that looks like for Nebraska.
See, I think Gift plays. I think Hartzog plays.
Ty and Nash are planning to play.
Yeah,
that's what they've said at least. You know, so that's it. That helps a lot.
I think Singleton will be up in the air.
That D line's a little thin.
I mean, kind of.
It's untested, unseasoned.
Right. Because, I mean, you literally could have a D line with, Van Poppel,
play.
Davis, Judy. I'm missing one. Mason Goldman.
Oh, so we talked about Goldman this morning.
I'm missing another one.
Outside or inside?
Inside.
Interior defensive lineman.
So we've got KVP, Judy, Goldman, Keona Davis. You're gonna get a transfer.
But I mean for the bowl game though.
Yeah. Although they could play too.
Can they technically if they're enrolled?
Yeah.
Can they play?
Yeah.
That's wild. That'd be fun. And it doesn't count against anything, right?
Shoot, I bet you guys like Vermont are in New York.
Yeah, I knew a bunch of those guys were trying to travel or trying to practice. And
I'm
travel.
missing a D lineman though. That has experience.
I'm looking here. It's gonna take me forever. You know, I'm a good Googler.
Yeah, and it just frustrates. It antagonizes me when you
got Keona Davis. You said him, right?
Yes.
You said
Thanks
Mason.
for listening.
You said Mason Goldman.
Yes.
You know, I can't Google and listen at the same time. I can.
Dude, your inability to multitask is.
We said Nash
is incredible.
Vincent Jackson's gone. Elijah Judy's there. What do we got? Lenhart.
That's it.
Sua.
I was thinking of Cam.
Cam.
Yeah. I meant guys that have played.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Mason hasn't really played.
Yeah, he has.
Not a ton.
He listen, when you were in the and I wouldn't put him in the rotation, but I mean, he'd got some snaps. That's pretty good.
I'm not complaining about it. He was
inside, outside guys.
But Cam's Cam's good. You'll have him there. So I mean, you've got enough guys without.
Yeah,
but it's
we
nice
just were like
panicking a little bit. People like to hit that panic button.
Don't.
I'm trying not to.
I'm just trying to help you guys. Felt like I was just being a company man. I'll tell you when it's bad. I'll tell you when it's bad. Don't worry. I told you I'd rather be right than well liked.
It's true.
That's fine.
Sometimes I'm neither.
Well, that's where it's tricky. It's like you're wrong and mean. That's where I live.
T-Mac said you're in Nebraska. There's a good chance it's going to be a white Christmas. He's talking about the weather.
Yeah, of course.
Big weather guy.
I grew up in West Omaha. I know all about it.
Weather.
Yeah, I know all about weather. Yeah, snow days.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, do we get those anymore with no snow?
Not really.
I don't really care. I mean,
well, these are the remote days now, which is kind of a bummer for kids. Like you don't
like everything else. Blame COVID.
You don't get the day off. You know.
Oh yeah, Parrot.
Like hey,
Parrot. Thank you, Mayor.
What? I'm talking about snow days.
I have a question. It's random.
Yeah.
Did Fresno State fill their opening?
Yeah, Matt
Entz
from North Dakota State via USC. Which I forgot he was at USC.
It's a quick pit stop.
Yeah. He's trying to help out. It was like linebackers coach, wasn't
he? It's a good hire for Fresno.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I remember when everybody thought Tony White was going to take that job.
He did not take that job.
You don't say.
Nope. He's doing other stuff now.
Did I show you James Williams' tweet?
Yeah.
The Will Smith in the empty living room?
Yep. He's just waiting for somebody to come hang out with him.
I don't know. It's not always like people think.
You got to be careful in that portal.
We need
You know what I mean?
Again, like I said, just wait 7 months. Like the market typically does. It will
correct.
It will correct.
Well, and the James Williams thing is tough too, because you look at, like, if that's a guy that's out in the cold or potentially out in the cold or not where he thought he was going to go, if you look at any of these rankings, he's one of the higher regarded guys in the class.
Yeah, because Jamari's got a home.
Yep.
Bear's got a home. Who else? So we'll see
defensively or in general.
I'm looking at when we were boohooing over the D line.
Let's see who else. I've got the list up right here. Defensive line, we had Vincent Jackson doesn't have a home.
Yep.
Brody Tagaloa doesn't have a home. Kai Wallen doesn't have a home. James Williams doesn't have a home.
So so this is everybody. This isn't Nebraska. This is my PSA. Sometimes it is beneficial to really give it some thought if you have people that believe in you.
Yes.
There's less to prove that way because you automatically get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
So
it's also more rare than people appreciate.
Some of these guys have heard this story before when they were being recruited locally. And I only know because they're local and I can share ideas. Some people were a little put off by Coach Rule or the staff saying, hey, listen, we'll give you every opportunity. Not every place is going to do that for you. Proceed with caution.
Yeah.
Like some people, what do you mean? You're doing us a favor? No. I'm not doing you a favor. See, it's important to me that you succeed. It may not be important
to them,
to the next person you go to. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And some people couldn't handle that. So in the last two recruiting cycles, some of the guys that have gotten away, a couple of linemen in particular, a tight end, it's like, okay, like you can like knock yourself out. I'm just telling you, it's not like you think it is out there.
Yeah, not everybody is interested in your success over their own.
Right.
Or interested in your success as much as their own. And I think that's not just a football thing. That's a life thing. If you're in a place where people believe in you,
I know
you should be very hesitant to leave.
So the problem with that is because you're 1,000% right. The problem is at that age, you don't have enough self-awareness to know that like you're not invincible.
You also don't have the experience to know that that's not common.
Yeah.
Right.
So the market will reset.
And on the alternate, if you're somewhere where people don't believe in you,
coaches figure it out all the time.
You should try
they take jobs thinking,
it's going to be great.
It's this, and this.
Is not this, that, and this.
Sometimes the ability to get along with people and have a positive culture is you can't really put a price tag on it until you don't have it somewhere else.
And then you realize
know how much it matters.
You.
Then you know how much it mattered to you.
100%. Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting thing with the transfer portal here because James Williams is a guy at a premium position. All these defensive linemen, premium position. They've had outside of like Brody Tagaloa, these guys have all gotten snaps.
Where else?
Power conference football.
So he has to go someplace where he can get in a wide nine.
Yeah.
Not have a ton of run responsibilities. Just rush the passer on obvious passing downs. Like that's very specific.
Yeah, it's got a very niche role,
right?
That not everybody's going to be able to give him.
So I don't know how coveted that will be.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back with Mike Schaefer coming up next on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
We will be back. will be back. We will be back. We will be back. Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, KFOR in Lincoln. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat HQ on the Pillar Exterior stage, or little round table, as it were, today. We are awaiting our friend Mike J. Schaefer from Husker 24/7.
What's so funny?
A lot of people catching up in the chat today about your cold steak. That's fine.
Again, it needs listen, I can take it. I'm like Teflon, man.
You're Teflon?
So sometimes I just grilled a couple of tenderloins.
Yep.
Right? Didn't feel great eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Had a few issues. So I ate half of one. I sliced it. And so sometimes periodically when I'm hungry, I'll just eat a slice. I'm not warming it up again.
No, I get that.
But if it's the day of, like I don't want to have a cold steak off the grill or the smoker or wherever.
Yeah. Like after you cook it, you're not trying to eat it cold.
Yeah.
But if it's a leftover, you're not. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So you
treat it the way a lot of people do, like cold cuts. You just go and grab a little slice, have it.
Yeah.
Have a little snack.
Plus, I feel like I'm really like a good cook.
Mm-hmm.
So it's seasoned well. It's got good flavor. I don't care if it's cold. Not the day after.
Yeah, no, I get what
I'm eating it because it tastes good.
I get what you're saying. Can I let you in on a little secret?
What?
When I was a kid, I used to eat cold hot dogs all the time.
Listen, ask my mom. I eat raw bacon
All the time.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I ate it for taste.
Did you ever do the
there would be these little corners off of these packs of rind bacon because they would buy rind bacon, and I would just pieces would be missing sometimes in the morning. Just ate raw bacon. And before you guys go ahead and shun me. Remember, you used to drink out of garden hoses too. You would do that today.
I mean, a lot of people still do.
Do they eat
like kids? I think kids still drink out of water hose.
You know a lot of kids that have hoses like hooked up. And
I don't know a lot of kids.
When was the last time you see a kid playing outside in like the sprinkler or something?
I don't know.
Exactly. They go to the pool with their friends or to the club.
To the club? They're going to the club?
Yeah, like the swimming place.
Oh. Talking about kids going to a club.
Dude, there's a reason bottled water companies are in business. Kids ain't drinking out of the garden hose.
Like you think like 50 Cent like in a club?
Why'd you go into character?
Oh, just how the song goes.
How's it go again?
It's in the club.
Guys. Yeah, dialect kind of disappeared there a little bit.
That's just how he sings the song. I'm trying to recreate the music.
Still mad that I let Sauter get away with.
I am mad you let Sauter get away. His was
closet racism.
Way more egregious than anything I've ever done. His was aggressive.
Oh shoot! Do we have Schaefer Campbell?
Not yet. That's Shane.
That's
Hot Danger says garden hoses have potable water that is safe to drink. Uncooked meat ain't fit to come out of a hose.
Now, full disclosure, Hot Danger does look like me, so he believes in burning his meat.
Yep.
I am not like that. I can eat my meat closer to medium rare.
Yep.
But it does come from someplace. Historically speaking, we got a lot of bad cuts of meat, so we would overcook it to keep from getting sick.
No, I understand that. I also understand,
but it's now 2024, and I believe medium rare is fine.
Yeah, there's been some time, and listen, I understand generational trauma is a real thing, but you're going to trauma further generations if you keep eating everything well done.
Yeah, I just can't.
It's too much.
Although you can cook a steak brown and have it still be juicy.
Yeah, that's fair, but it's hard.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not.
I wouldn't.
Even if it's still juicy, you're still losing a bunch of the flavor.
No, I know. I'm telling you, a good follow on TikTok.
Who?
Malcolm Reed.
I don't watch food stuff.
That's right. You don't cook.
On Twitter because I don't cook.
It's fine.
I did go to a good steak place this weekend, though. It was pretty solid.
I did too, but I did not have a steak.
I didn't either. I had seafood.
Yeah.
Their seafood menu was incredible.
AC, he got a prime rib. It looked fantastic.
Yeah. Man, I saw a picture of I'm on one of those Facebook food groups for Omaha or whatever.
It was kind of small though, but I think he could pick his ounces.
Oh, okay. So he chose that.
He must, and he's slight.
Yeah.
Like he's a little guy. So he probably didn't eat that much, but it looked good.
I had this place that we went had an incredible seafood menu. That's why we picked it, even though it's a steakhouse. Had some scallops. Oof.
So that doesn't surprise me because I like wings from Chinese places,
yeah.
And you wouldn't normally think I would like my wings. I shouldn't just say exclusively to Chinese.
No, but there's really good wings at a lot of Chinese places.
Yes,
and typically the best seafood in town is going to be at a steak place.
Yeah, I think you have to eat in. I think you have to eat inside the location. But I showed you the place that's specializing in the feast.
Mm-hmm.
That has the Korean fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
It looks spectacular.
100%.
But I'm not going to sit in there and eat. I would probably
get to go.
Could I order it and then say something's wrong with me and then say, hey, could you package this up?
Just call ahead.
But you have to dine in.
No, you don't.
I think you can only get that.
Oh, for the feast?
Dining in.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you meant in general. I was like, have you not heard of takeout before, DB? What's happening here?
You must really think I'm stupid. That's how you talk. I'm offended. Where's Schaefer?
We got Mike Schaefer here.
Oh, he talks to me like I'm dumb too. I don't know if this is going to help
from
me.
From Husker 24/7. What's up, Schaefer?
I don't talk to you like you're dumb. I just talk to everybody the same way.
It's a general condescension.
Yeah.
That
towards
beard
humanity.
looks fantastic. Are you letting that thing sprout?
No, I just haven't gotten it trimmed.
Oh, that is incredible.
It's set for Friday. So
yeah. What are you going to do with it? You got a lot of options. What are you going to do with it?
Just trim it down slightly.
Yeah.
I don't really my relationship with my barber is exactly how I want it. I don't really say a lot. Like I walk in, I'm like, yeah, just a little off the chin. He knows exactly what that means. I've gotten my hair cut the same way for roughly, I don't know, the 6 years that I've been going to this guy now. So, there's not a lot to do. Like, I don't have a lot going on up here. You just cut it kind of short.
We're polar opposites. My relationship with my barber, he's like my therapist, my counselor, doubles as my dentist from time to time. Like, I talk to him about everything.
Wait, you say dentist?
We were joking about which picks floss work better.
Okay, I was
like we talk about a lot.
I know. I was just thinking different chair, different certification process. There's no Joseph College of Dental.
Back in the day, you had
there's these brands, right? Like T-Flex or Scope, or we were in this deep discussion about. Maybe that's just me.
I just think dentists may wonder, like, there's more to their job than like recommending floss.
Yeah, whatever.
There may be more education.
So you're just kind of a get in, get out kind of guy, Schaefer?
Generally, yeah. I mean, I'm not sitting in the chair to talk. Usually I'm just sitting in there and I'm listening to the conversations going on in the barbershop, which is the highlight of the entire experience, really, for me. You learn a lot about people who are just openly talking at the barbershop. So, I'm just there as a wallflower. I'm not really chiming in. I'm not offering advice. I'm just there to soak up the experience, really.
I'm just trying to figure out what the possible differences might be between DB's barber experience.
You met my barber,
Schaefer. I know. And Schaefer's barber experience.
Mine's now inside the mall, which is super weird because
I don't
want to feel like a zoo animal. And the mall walkers are walking by and they're like, they're looking in and they're looking at the people who are getting their hair cut or their beard trimmed. And it's an experience, I guess. I preferred it when it was a standalone operation versus in the mall.
I'm just saying, like, there's, if I wanted to stereotype, not that I would.
You'd be surprised a little bit. Like, I know that I said it's in the mall, but there's not a lot of people that look like me that go where I go.
Okay, that's fair. That's
a
little what I was getting at.
I know what you were getting at.
Why DB's barber experience may have maybe a little, like, I don't go to a barber, I go to a salon.
Shocker.
So, like,
no one's surprised by that
goes to a salon. I'm surprised.
Listen, I'm sorry, one of my best friends in the world works at the salon, and so I give her business because I'm a good friend. My bad.
I saw an algorithm where they were rating like certifiable versus good looking, and hairdressers were way up on the volatile side.
Is it true? I think I had this discussion one time. At barbers, do they not wash your hair?
Yeah, if I want it.
Okay. Do they wash your hair?
If I ask.
Okay. I get my hair washed like twice. That's just like part of the process.
Yeah. You're not new. This ain't novel.
Well, somebody told me that barbers
don't wash their hair.
No, somebody told me that barbers don't wash hair, and was the difference between
There's
a barber and a salon.
3 sinks in there.
I don't know, man.
Ravi, I'm kind of at the point where if my hair, where if they spritz it a couple times, it's like they've washed it. So, there's not a lot going on. So a couple spritzes, it's like a hair wash for me. So I'm going to count it.
I don't even know how we got here. But since we're not talking about sports yet, Schaefer, do you go to places that are historically known for something, but then that's not what you get? And I'm not talking about like how Chick-fil-A has burgers.
I was listening. Right. I was listening to the conversation earlier. I was trying to think about that. I don't know that I have like a swerve order at a place where you'd expect like one thing and then you're, walking out of there with something else. I don't have anything off the top of my head. I feel like there's a couple pizza places in Omaha that also have really good burgers. Like if you were to not just get pizza, but I'm drawing a blank on which ones. I don't know that I have anything like that. I tend to just kind of wherever I go, I get what I get. I don't know that I worry so much what their specialty is. It's more just like what I want to eat.
Are you one of those guys that can order different things, or when you go somewhere, do you pretty much get the same thing?
I like to think I'm the type of person that orders different things, but I'm probably more closer to having a standard. But I can, like, not to throw her under the bus. My wife, I know exactly what she's going to order almost everywhere she goes. That is not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go to a place that's got like 3 or 4 things at least that I think look good so I can make a decision in the moment.
Yeah. I like to make the decision, even if it's a pretty condensed version of a decision.
Are you a frozen food person, Schaefer?
Do I eat frozen food?
Yes.
I mean, I think anyone watching the stream right now has a pretty strong yes going on in their head. So, yeah, I mean, I look like someone that has shopped in the frozen food section at a grocery store before.
Do you rank like qualities of frozen food? I don't eat a ton of frozen food, but for people that do, they are very particular about their frozen food.
Well, yeah, I think like you have the items that I'm going there to buy specific stuff if I'm in the frozen food section. I'm not like taking a chance of perusing on things. Generally, there's like, oh, this is the type of, whatever it is that I'm getting that I want, and then I'm walking out with that. So, yeah, I suppose I am very particular of frozen food.
There's definitely like brands, because I'll do some frozen food, that's probably not shocking, but there's definitely brands where I'm like, I will ride with this brand, and if I want to try something new, it will be within that brand because I know in general they're good.
No. So you know what? He's onto something though, Schaefer, because
I know that he's onto something because it describes my general appreciation of brands and like.
Great Value has the greatest frozen sausage pack, and I've seen you make your breakfast sandwiches in like bulk. They look sensational. Great Value has like McDonald's quality, although
Great Value is such a cheat code. They just take everyone's good items and then reverse engineer it and then slap Great Value on there. And then you're saving money for roughly the same taste of what you're.
They taste exactly the same.
The frozen food brand that I think you've had them because I think we mentioned this before in a previous life. There's this brand called Devour.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking when we were talking about frozen food. Yeah.
These frozen food brand, and everything.
Where's this at?
I get mine at Target, but I think they have them everywhere.
I get mine at Walmart. They're at Hy-Vee. They're at all the grocery stores.
I started getting them because they're pretty high in protein for the frozen meals, but they're like the best ones by far, flavor wise. It's not even close.
Oh, they're tremendous.
Like
they used to have more options. I feel like I'm condensed down to just like 3 different choices. So
it's fine. We're just not going to be our mutual friend and buy paella frozen from a grocery store. That's still one of the more laughable things ever. Hey, Schaefer, so you have to feel pretty good. We were talking about this last night, I think over text, but Ravi made fun of me all offseason for being a closet Vikings fan, and I wasn't a closet Vikings fan. I just thought they were going to be pretty good. How sweet did those whites look? And as Detroit starts to like have this mash unit, and you guys are pretty good anyway, like you got to be encouraged. That's a really good football team.
Yeah, I mean they've been a good football team all year. It's hard because the expectation was they were a 6 or 7 win team, and here they are at 12 wins right now through 15 weeks. So I'm excited about it. Like I told you, I mean they have some all-world pieces, and then they just have a bunch of pretty good to like solid to actually good players. Like your Harrison Phillips, your Andrew Van Ginkel, your Blake Cashman, your Josh Metellus. Like these aren't all pro players, but you put enough of those guys on a defense and you throw Jonathan Grenard in there, who's just a wrecking ball right now. They've got like a salty defense. Brian Flores is able to put together a plan for the type of teams that they're playing, and they're going to be a fun team, I think, in the playoffs. The NFC looks wide open. I mean, I wouldn't want to play the Rams right now. I wouldn't want to play the Bucks right now. There's some good teams in there. The Packers looked really good dismantling the Seahawks.
You want to play the Eagles right now?
The Eagles, I shouldn't say this because if it comes down to it, but they don't scare me. Like the Vikings and the Eagles exist on 2 entirely different planes. The Vikings are entirely this is a culture of belief that we can do it and we're going to do it together. And the Eagles are, we've got so much talent and we all hate each other, but our talent's going to win out. They're going to explode at some point in time. And I feel like Minnesota matches up really well against them.
I've thought that for like a year and a half now, and they're just still plugging along.
Yeah.
Well, they do, but then they have moments like last year where they got absolutely destroyed by the Bucks in the playoffs. Like they didn't deserve to be in that game, So it's wild. Like they're just so combustible that if you hang in long enough, they will defeat themselves. Like I think that's what it is with the Eagles.
KOC, one of the greatest interviews ever. He seems like a guy, Schaefer, I would love to play for in O'Connell.
I think that's sort of what the response in that locker room is. I mean, he's definitely a player's coach, and he's put together a really good culture there. I think he's super demanding. I think that's the secret of all of these kind of great players coaches is that they make you love them, but they also get your best performances because you don't want to disappoint them. And you're going to work really hard because everybody in the room is working really hard. And you get rewarded when you have the opportunity to go out there and make a play and you go and do it. They got a really awesome culture. They're a fun team to watch right now. I know that like people aren't completely in on them, and they won't be because of Sam Darnold, but it's a fun group.
I'm not gonna go steal your time with food in Minnesota, but when he spends it, that dude it is pretty to watch.
That pass that he hit Jefferson right before the end zone, he just dropped it in between three defenders.
Yeah.
I think there's probably less than 12 people in the world that can make that pass.
A flick of the wrist.
That are willing to make that pass.
Yep, he's a stud.
Incredible.
I just want to say you're welcome for Kyle Shanahan fixing him, but don't worry about it.
Zip it. Hey, so Shay, this is just how you drew it up, though. Seriously, Nebraska getting a long snapper out of the portal and linemen on campus, right? This is kind of what you want to see for a team that needs to attack where they need to get better.
Yeah, and then I'm excited to see here to start this week, the kind of continuation of going into the portal at different positions, seeing some defensive backs pop up, whether it's Addison Maddox from UAB or, excuse me, I think it's Adrian Maddox from UAB, Andrew Marshall from Idaho. Obviously, locally we know Dan Jackson out there in Idaho, and he's got nothing but good things to say about Andrew Marshall, who, by the way, a kick return and a punt return for a touchdown last year for Idaho, held his own in the Oregon game. That's a guy that I'm kind of fascinated by. That's popped up in the portal, and then you've got the kid from Nevada. You've got as the offensive lineman. You have Cameron Olds, who is just here. So they're doing a nice job of working guys in, coming in for visits. Get a backup quarterback on campus potentially over the last day or so. So they're doing a nice job just kind of working in there. And I think we're going to start to see some names pop up as commitments to Nebraska's transfer portal class.
Shay, if you think any of those commitments are coming from the wide receiver group, I know there's a few guys where it's Eric Rivers, Dane Key, whoever else that Nebraska's been looking at.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely want to get one, maybe two. And so I think, your ideal would be Key or Rivers, but then they also like the guy from Cal. His last name's Hunter. I can't remember the first name.
That's
just a freshman. He had a really nice year. You add that to your young wide receiver group. So they're looking for talent. I think they're really kind of open to any position, any player. It's just got to be someone that kind of fits what they want in terms of body type and if they can help them. I don't think anyone that they're trying to take is just like, we'll throw him in there and see what he does. Maybe I think there's a purpose. I don't think they're just taking people to take them.
Schaefer, when you're looking at like the additions and the roster, it still seems like they're going to be very specific in the portal. I think some people heard kind of this overarching philosophy of, hey, we're going to do it like this now, or there's been a philosophical change. Like, how did you consume the information in the last couple of weeks versus how you're seeing this offseason play out? Do you think there's a philosophical change?
I don't know that we've seen that quite yet. I mean, they're definitely just I think a lot of it is they're open to bringing in players so they can meet with them too. Just because a guy visits doesn't necessarily mean that Nebraska is 100% going to take him or 100% wants him. But I think they're just trying to be as open-minded as they can with it. And I think you're looking for talent. You're looking for guys that can help you. I think you're looking for role players and people that can do certain things. When I talked about Andrew Marshall, I like seeing them go in and try to find someone who could be a returner for you. I know that it didn't work necessarily with Ja'Cory Barney as much. And maybe if you're going to highlight him in the offense, you don't want him as a return man. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that they made long snapper a priority and they got that one done early. I appreciate that they've had a punter on campus and that they're looking to kind of, finish up stuff with specialists early. They've certainly shown an interest in finding edge and and those types of players. So they're doing a lot of what we anticipated. When he talks about a philosophical change, sometimes I wonder if that's what's happening, behind the scenes, and we're not getting the full explanation as to what's going on philosophically. Are they viewing guys differently in the portal? Are there certain barometers that are being hit that make them more interesting in a player? Matt Rule hasn't openly talked about that. So I do wonder if some of the change that's been discussed, outwardly it looks very similar. I wonder if behind the scenes, the way the structure and everything is different.
Schaefer, well, about a minute left here with you. You mentioned seeing guys differently in the portal behind the scenes, but with all the coaching staff changes, do you think they're seeing guys internally a little bit differently as well, either to the good or the bad?
Oh, no doubt about it. I think anytime you have fresh set of eyes, you're going to get different players that pop up. I mean, that was one of the discussions with Dana Holgerson when he got here in early November as to which players could end up highlighted and everything like that. So I definitely think there's the internal aspect of this too. You got to do a good job of self-scouting, and you have new coaches, who the defensive backs coach might like in that room is different than what necessarily Evan Cooper thought early last summer, and where John Butler was when he moved on to the defensive coordinator role. I mean, he's still going to be involved in it, but a different coach is going to have a different player that flashes to mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, interesting too. As World just comes out with his top 3 and Nebraska is in it. So how about that, Schaefer?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the two teams that they're with, and you know that NIL is going to be a big part of this. And so if Nebraska really wants to tackle, that's about as much money as you're going to spend in the portal this year for any position. So good luck.
That's our guy, Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Schaefer, appreciate it as always. We will talk to you again next week.
All right, guys, take care.
Thanks, Schaefer.
That's our guy, Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Coming up next, we've got more Hurrdat Sports Radio. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla.
We will be back. 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 You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, KFOR, and Lincoln. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat HQ.
Hi, Ravi.
Hey, bud. How are you?
No, don't. Just be normal.
What?
Good morning.
Hey, bud. I just was saying hello. You're welcoming us back, and then you get all goofy.
I was trying to be nice.
No, don't.
That's
Just-
my nice voice.
No, just do you. You're
Hey,
not a
DB,
nice
what's up,
person.
buddy?
No, just be like,
I'm super nice. Sometimes. Depends on who you are and what the situation is. It's time for Bet On It, brought to you by Moore Sports.
And time of day and any other variables.
What my blood sugar is, I'll be honest.
which, by the way, I'm glad you kind of snapped out of it. It was a little bit, I was worried about you this morning.
Yeah.
Or was it because you had to let me in?
No, I was a little low this morning. So once I got the Uncrustable going, I felt better.
Yeah. I keep saying, I'm going to be your friend. We're going to think of something other than putting that
Pop-Tarts
in your body.
Pop-Tarts?
I just can't in good faith watch you do that every day.
So the guy that was going to eat like a 30-hour-old Taco John's burritos concerned about
That's
when I
not
put it
even
in my body.
If you have no, I will eat some leftovers. Okay.
I'll take Uncrustable.
I'm going to say this.
You know what I'm going to bet on?
I'm going to move on.
What's that?
When's the last time I went to Nebraska City?
Last week? 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have chicken.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good. I get it to go.
Mm-hmm.
I never eat it on time. Sometimes I like break it up. I throw the skin out. I put it in the dog's food because Biggie's not really eating like he should.
Mm-hmm.
Just yesterday, there's this giant breast that's in a Ziploc bag. I put the humidity thing on the drawer where I keep my good meats. It felt pretty good. I tore a piece out and I ate it. It's 2 weeks old.
So 2 weeks is a little aggressive.
2 weeks old.
But how long? When did you put it in the fridge? That's my real concern here.
It was probably in the microwave for a day, maybe.
Don't do that. What are you doing?
A day.
After you got home with it, it was in for another day.
Let's not act like when you get leftovers from a restaurant, you put them immediately in the fridge. You put them on the counter till the next. What if you get home late at night? You're out having your fancy pants canters of wine.
decanters.
Whatever.
Decanters.
Enos, the basketball player from the NBA?
Yeah, Enos Cantor. Not Enos Decanter. That's a different thing.
Well, if I said duh, you'd have made fun of my.
No, if you said decanter, I was like, oh, look at him, knows his wine.
Almost a racial joke.
In the club? In decanter? We got Bam on that one.
Good stuff. Good stuff. This is comedy gold right here, boys.
You can't laugh at that.
Shane, you know Shane's laughing. You know Shane's laughing.
I'm just getting up off the floor right now.
I let you get away with Tiger Woods the other day. Now you hit me with in the club for decanter.
Yeah. I thought that's what you were going to say.
This dude is loose. Oh, did you? You're like, oh, I think this is what DB's about to say.
Well, no, after you were like, it's a racial joke about duh. I was like, well, in the club, in the canter.
No.
No?
No. Per usual, you towed the line, then just jumped all the way over.
Well, you know.
And you're bringing Cam down.
Much like Tiger Woods, I bridged the gap between our two cultures.
This dude Cam is killing me.
It's time for Bet On It, brought to you by
This dude was my
Warhorse.
ride or die for years. Cam, careful who you hit your wagon to, okay? Wow.
Oh, hitching wagons now, making Indian jokes, huh? I see how it is. Not even the right kind of Indian. We not a lot of wagons on that part of the world. Trains. We like to ride around and we call them rickshaws. These little 3-wheel deals, kind of like a scooter.
Did you ever watch Ghost in the Darkness?
No. No, I didn't.
That's a great movie.
Trains, Shane, trains.
I have been on trains in India. When I was a kid, when we went over there, we took trains all over the country.
I almost said,
I'm
just going to say it, shock.
Is trains like a thing you associate with India? Is that a thing?
For some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I do, because when I was a kid and we went there, we took a lot of trains, but I didn't know that was like a thing people thought about India. 888-638-4876. If you think of trains, you think India, give it a call. It's time for Bet On It, brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook, the best place in Nebraska to place your sports bets.
It's hot in here.
No bets, no glory. Warhorse Sportsbook. Get to warhorsecasino.com for all
Cam,
the
it's up
details.
another tick in here, temperature-wise.
Oh, no. And promotions. DB, we've had some clamoring in the chat.
Yes?
They would like some winners.
Oh, I got to get back on it.
They would like
because we did take a couple days off.
We did. Took a couple days off. The people would like some winners. So I'll give you a minute here because I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, even though we do the betting segment at the same time every single day. But I will give you... So that was a joke Tourette's one where it was right there, and I apologize on that one. Anyway, we'll give you a minute to come up with your winners because the people are clamoring for them. They're clamoring for the winners, DB. They go, my guy's on a heater. I need more winners.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't understand. I don't.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay.
It's not okay.
You gonna be all right?
Yes, it's fine.
So we'll come up with some winners here in a little bit. In the mean,
so I gave Ryan like 3 or 4 the other day.
Yeah,
and I said, "Oh, I like these other 2."
Mm-hmm.
But I gave him the numbers of the top 4. I said I like the other 2.
Oh yeah, you sent me those,
right?
And then you gave me the extras. They're like, I also like these, but they weren't your locks.
Yeah.
So I understood the text.
He texted me and he said, "Hey, can I move to your basement after those plays?" Now keep in mind, dudes.
Yeah, I've been to his house.
Yeah, you've been to his house. You've been to my house. Who you think has all the money? It's not your boy. So I'm like, wait a minute. Did you not? Those college basketball plays? I think you
They're
see
golden.
Yeah.
I think you were 3 for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Maybe he was getting greedy and parlaying them too.
No.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a parlay guy.
I don't know either. I know he likes to.
I don't. It does. He does. His personality doesn't seem like parlay.
I can't remember if he's told me about.
But I was like, oh, that's 3 winners right there. Like 3 out of 3 and 1. That's a winning day.
Mm-hmm. It's a good winning day.
Well, the whoever he said Colts and Dolphins killed me. Now, first of all, you capped the Colts right.
Yeah.
The Colts killed the Colts.
Yeah. Yeah.
The game was capped right. You can't account for stupidity.
I mean, you can, but that was extraordinary.
So that's why I hate like giving like multiple picks because people do what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, the same thing, right? So I know some of our guys have been parlaying your picks because you hadn't missed in a while, but you go 3 for 4 in a parlay. That doesn't win you anything.
Yeah. Unless you do that thing that
yeah, sometimes you can either buy it out or you can they give like a forgiveness.
The round robin thing.
Yeah, the round robin works sometimes.
I tried that for a while about 3 years ago.
Sometimes you can do a little teaser in there to switch it up a little bit, but you know, you got to do with the information what you will. It's for entertainment purposes only, obviously. Or for go over to Warhorse and get your bets in.
Yeah.
But do you have any or do we need
Yeah, I got
what do we got? What do we got? What do you like?
Let's stay in college basketball.
Okay. We do have a bowl game tonight.
I actually like West Virginia. I like West Virginia. I like West Virginia.
That's not a lock.
No, I like West Virginia quite a bit.
Okay.
I would not lay the points with Memphis.
Is Rich Rod coaching that game?
Doesn't matter. West Virginia could mess around and win.
Yeah.
And I think you're getting 6 or 6.5, maybe.
That's a team you kind of liked all year.
Oh, yeah.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
And they weren't probably quite as good as.
No, I like West Virginia tonight.
I got Memphis minus 4.5 is the line.
Is that it?
Now. Yeah. I think it's come down quite a bit.
I think you should wait. It might go back up.
All right. We'll wait on it. Wait, see what that number turns out.
I thought it was 5, but that's fine.
It was.
I think they could win. So points may be a gift anyway. But in hoops, I like Kansas State.
Okay.
Just because I know Rutgers so well. K-State is laying 7.
Oh, you're right. It is up to 5 now.
Thank you for your support.
Kansas State.
I like K-State.
Okay.
Get a load of this. I like North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not being sarcastic. You generally don't.
But they will beat UConn.
Okay. North Carolina over UConn and Kansas State laying the points. That is our guy.
Wait. I got one more.
Oh, one more. What do we got?
Rushing me.
Well, no, the clock's rushing me, but that's okay.
I like St. Bonaventure too.
Ooh. Big Bonnie's guy.
Big Bonnie's guy. 7.
Big Woj guy. Woj guy for the Bonnies. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Bet on It, brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook. So what? So you can leave another one in your bag?
It's okay.
We'll be back with more.
We will be back. We will be back. will be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Radio.
As we welcome you back to Hurrdat Sports Radio with my man Ravi. Lulla, I just happened to read
Joel's?
Yes.
Yeah.
As we welcome you back with the microwave talk. See, that's why I don't read scripts, or I'm a total Ron Burgundy dude. I'm just so in case you missed it, by the way, welcome back in this final hour, final portion of the hour. We were talking about, he goes, what's with the microwave thing? Because sometimes I put food in the microwave because when it's fresh, you bring it home or it's to go. I don't like it to sit on the counter because I don't want to see it. And I don't want to put it in the fridge because I don't want to have to reheat it. A lot of food is not good reheated. So I try to keep it.
So here's the variable that I didn't understand before that you explained to me off air.
What?
The reason you don't put it in the fridge immediately is because you still might pick at it that night.
Yeah.
So for me,
I had every intention of eating that burrito.
For me, when I come home with leftovers, I put it in the fridge right away because I'm done with them for the night.
Yeah. See, not me. Well, I didn't get that breakfast till in the morning.
Yeah.
And I caved because I didn't want to eat the tortilla.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna keep it going.
Sasha says she puts food in the microwave so the dogs don't eat it, which is also fair. Your dogs aren't getting up on the
huge. Did you see her TikTok the other day?
Yeah, they're horses.
She was totally messing with them too, pretending that
she's got great days. So they can reach everything. Yeah.
But she was calling their names. I was like, why is this funny? But I laughed. I laid there on the couch. I was like, oh, that's 100%. Funny. Because it's just funny to see her laugh. She doesn't like laugh and giggle like that. I was like, oh, that's cute. But anyways, Joel, he's so snarky.
Yeah.
Like I could just read it. I could hear his tone. Yes, we bought my grandmother a microwave in the 80s. She used it as another cupboard and kept potato chips in there.
I totally read that wrong. I thought it said in her 80s. And so I just imagine this, and maybe she was in her 80s, but I just imagine this old woman not wanting to mess with the buttons. So dude, that's what I used. I told you this story before. When I lived by myself in my apartment.
Yeah, you put stuff in the oven and forgot it was in there.
My mom put stuff in the oven as storage.
Yeah.
There was cooking utensils and stuff in there, pans and whatever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I moved out and Natasha's
I've seen people do that.
Checked it because I had literally never opened.
No, I get it.
And she goes, hey, you got a bunch of stuff in here? I did not know that, actually.
No, I totally get it. You're wondering why I have such a good mood. It's because of game day mental. Right. That was what my original goal is to bring us back talking about game day men's health, where you can get your levels checked, pre-screenings, whether it's peptides or Botox or Brotox. I'm no more jokes for you. You just zip it.
I'm just sitting here.
TRT, like they're so good. And my favorite thing about Game Day Men's Health is just really personable. I'm a guy that's easily I'm skeptical by nature. So getting in and out within an hour and getting the panel done and all that, have been fantastic. So make sure you visit. It only took me, it's less than an hour. And if I wouldn't have been with numbnuts next to me, no pun intended.
Not anymore.
Stop it.
I prefer Nimbus.
Oh, visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That flipping Joel, he messed the whole thing up.
Microwave talk with Joel here. You know, he ruined
Who
it.
puts chips in the microwave? Although,
yeah,
and maybe it's an older generation thing. My mom, much like myself, doesn't like to throw away things.
Sure.
So to rehab questionable chips, whether they're tortilla or potato chips, she puts
After
them
they
in.
get stale?
She puts them in the oven.
See, I took it to mean she just used it as storage. I didn't think she warmed up the chips.
No, I think he just meant storage. You're right.
Okay.
But my mom would warm them up in the oven.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, trying to like get them back from being stale.
Yeah, and apparently some of my friends that look like me, they don't mind reheating steak. I do. My man Bernard, he's like, dude, just put it in a skillet, slice it with a little butter, and go slow. That's fine. I normally would just put it in foil and put it in the oven at 200.
Yeah, it's less maintenance.
I don't have time for that. Sometimes I'm not eating it because I want it to be another meal. I'm eating because I'm snacking.
Just a little snack.
So
I got you.
Cold is fine.
Just a little snacky.
Steak's not meant to be reheated.
It's fine. You don't like sweet meat. Other people don't like cold meat. It's okay. You're not a sweet meat guy. Don't pretend like you are.
No, I'm not.
It's a thing you're totally out on.
At all.
I don't mind it. You know, you get some nice sweet meat every once in a while.
It's overrated.
Not a big fan.
I know what you're trying to do, but
no, I'm not trying to do anything.
No, you're not.
You got preferences. Other people got different preferences. It's okay. I'm trying to help the other people identify that don't like the cold meat.
Identify as normal.
No, identify like, hey, you got your thing over here. DB's got his other preference. It's all good.
It makes perfect sense.
I don't know about perfect sense, but there is some logic.
Well, you get the OCD thing where I just don't want it showing.
100%. No, I get that for sure. Although this is kind of a weird thing I have since we're just talking about whatever, I guess. You know, like people don't like, you know, certain people have, you know, they don't want the food showing or whatever. So Natasha has a cookie jar out for Christmas, right? And she'll put cookies in there, but I know they're store-bought cookies that she unwraps then puts in the thing, right? I have a really weird thing about eating food that's been like unwrapped and it's just, even though it's covered.
Oh, so like
I'm afraid they're gonna be stale.
You would want Oreos like it back in the Ziploc package,
yeah, like
whatever.
in the package,
not out in a cookie jar.
Yeah,
I actually think there's something to that.
But here's the weird part: is I don't need it to be in a Ziploc. If it's in the package still, I'm fine.
Yeah, you know what's funny when I repackage cheese, because I don't buy a lot of shredded cheese. I buy blocks and then I shred it.
Yeah.
So I've somehow convinced myself that I'll take it out of the package, put it in the Ziploc, and then in a container versus just in the Ziploc or in the container. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I just feel better, even though I'm sure air is getting to it just the same. Because I'm not vacuum sealing it again.
No, but there's probably less air. If you go Ziploc bag and then container, there's probably less air that gets to it.
The cheese that I liked about Costco.
Yeah.
It's like something reserve. It's sharp cheddar, but it's like 228 slices.
Yeah. I've had that. Is it the Tillamook?
Nope. It's something reserve.
Oh,
Tillamook is fire.
Tillamook makes pretty good cheese. Yeah.
But it's like sharp.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm the only one that really eats it. But I'll just take like a piece of ham, a piece of cheese. I'll roll it up and just eat it.
Yeah, a little snack.
So I can run through it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I always put it in something, even though it's quote unquote resealable.
Yeah. So if I put something in the fridge, it's definitely being in something that's sealed because I feel like it goes bad.
Right.
But if I've got cookies in the pantry or whatever, I'll have, because you got the Oreo packages and they got the flap.
Yeah.
So I'll put that down. It's not like that's more secure than the cookie jar, but I'm okay with the package. I get a little weird about the cookie jar.
If you were a dinosaur, you'd be like a snackosaurus. You got all the snacks.
Dude, it's the diabetes thing. I have this.
Did you say beatus or betis?
I always say diabetes. I know everybody else says diabetes, and then you got your Wilford Brimley that says diabetes. But
Wilford Brimley.
He's like he's the old the manager in The Natural. That's Wilford Brimley.
Oh, with the thick cookie duster?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he used to do before he died. R.I.P.
No disrespect.
R.I.P.
The guy was with thick cookie dusters.
Pour one out for my guy Wilford Brimley. He used to do these type 2 diabetes commercials. And
you're driving me crazy. Just skip the D word.
Listen, that's how I say it. So, but everybody used to make fun of him because he would go, "I'm Wilford Brimley. I got type 2 diabetes." And people thought it was really funny. I always said diabetes.
Why does it change to diabetic?
I don't know. That's why I say diabetes.
But you don't say diabetic.
No, I don't. I don't know. So you know what it was? When I was a kid, I know everybody else says diabetes. I think that sounds dumb, even though that's how everybody else says it.
Of course. I mean, why not? The world according to Ravi.
Exactly. My own personal record book. Like Jason Tatum didn't actually win a title. It's fine. Jaylen Brown led him to a title. Jason Tatum just ripped the coattails. Don't worry, I'm already starting my mental gymnastics on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, how are you going to backpedal?
Saquon Barkley, baby.
Oh, yeah, you do have it ready and queued up. Can Jalen Hurts win a Super Bowl? No.
Not without Saquon Barkley.
Wait a minute. They played in a Super Bowl, Ravi. Don't care.
Doesn't matter.
No, Ravi, they can get to a Super Bowl. Now with Jalen Hurts, they can't.
Get to and win are different.
You've already started the spiel.
100%. I'm just pivoting, you know. I'm greasy. You got to watch out. You know, I'm in the corner. I'm bobbing. I'm weaving.
Incredible.
Try not to get hit. That's what we do here. That's what it's all about.
By the way, Wilford, he was also the Quaker Oats guy.
Oh, Wilford Brimley, also the Quaker Oats guy. Thank you, Shane.
Quaker Oats.
Yeah, the Quaker Oats commercials. I don't know. I know him as the manager from The Natural.
So, not to get you down the rabbit hole where you have to reset your algorithm on TikTok, but there's an old commercials.
Oh, I've seen some of those.
Snippet on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like you get Mikey and the Sunshine Mountain Salt Girl. Yeah.
I think I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that Life? Is that Life cereal?
Mm-hmm. At Keebler Old Boise's I saw, which used to be a fantastic chip.
Ooh, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh God, it's like crack. Not that I am an average.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Good morning again.
It all comes back to Boys in the Hood. I know.
The movie.
I know. That one was on purpose.
I don't even know why I gave that analogy because I don't like crack. I've never done crack, but I just felt like
it's a thing people say.
Oh, Boise's
on me.
What's that? Shane, did you used to eat Oh Boise's?
I thought it was lean on me.
Shane is always on a 7-second delay.
This is what happens when we're not in our normal studio.
Let's not act like most of the last week wasn't at the bar and it was still like this. I don't know that location is a big factor here, DB.
Oh, it's incredible.
I think the show's over. Just for today. Maybe.
Where are we tomorrow?
I think we're at home tomorrow.
All right.
Our home sweet home, the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, not out of here. That's DB.
Yeah,
I'm
Cam,
Ravi.
it's been real.
I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow with more Hurrdat Sports Radio.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.